everyone. I'm Charissa Thompson. I am the 5th choice to co-host this event with Jay. The other 4 people weren't available.
It's 6. You're 6.
So
Sixth choice.
I put my weave in, and I'm ready to have some fun with you guys. I am lucky enough to call Nashville my second home. It is a place that now I am the person that you guys hate. If you guys hate traffic.
Californians. Came from California.
Yes, exactly. But I am happy to be here, and I will leave right after this. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to have some fun. I have worked for Fox Sports for the better part of 15 years with intermittent time at ESPN, and I am very old. Yes, thank you, Jay. But I covered Jay with the time of the Bears, the Dolphins, and everything in between. We've been friends. When we actually met in Denver, I worked for the Rockies and met him way back when. So I am excited to hang out, have some fun, talk to some wonderful individuals, and just have a good time. Grab a drink, sit down, and let's do this. All right, without further ado, he has had a week off. He has been in Seattle, Washington, which is where I am from. Please welcome to the stage. I've always wanted to say that in a very appropriate way. Ty Dillon, how are you?
I'm good. How's it going, everybody?
Ty, as I mentioned, you've had the week off. So you guys you were in Sonoma.
Yes.
Okay.
Wine country.
Wine country, I know. Yeah. I talked to Chris Myers. I'm Chris Myers on the way over here. So much fun. So first of all, Nashville, it's been a couple years, right? Yeah. Since you guys have been here?
It's been 10 years for me. So I didn't race last year. I ran about 16 races kind of in between. I had raced 4 years full time in the Cup Series. Our team shut down at the end of our 4th year. So I was kind of in between doing what I could, ran for like 3 different teams across all the series, battled my way back, got another opportunity this year. So I'm glad to be back. And this
Give
is
it up
my
for that,
time.
everybody. Yeah. It's not easy to come back.
Yeah.
How does this race differ from other tracks?
It's unique. All the tracks that are this size in our circuit are asphalt, pure blacktop asphalt. This is a concrete racetrack. So we race at a mile in Dover that's concrete. This is a 1.5 miles, and it's shaped a little bit different, so it's a little bit bigger. So the way that the car handles, the tires and everything take to the track is going to be a unique challenge. So this being my first year back, I say back because I used to come here about 10 or 11 years ago, and we used to do practice laps and test sessions. It's the only track that we could come to and just do practice and make laps all day and get better and better. I was 18, 19 years old then, so it's been a while. I'm back as a 30-year-old getting to race here for the first time. So a little bit different, but it's nice to kind of come back somewhere you have laps, and it's relatively new for everybody on track.
Mm-hmm.
So are you guys doing simulations and simulators the entire week, like preparing for that?
Yeah, I've probably spent about 8 hours in a simulator this week. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that consist of for the novice fan that wouldn't know? Like, different. A Nadal on clay is really great. Federer, at Wimbledon's really good. Like, how does that change your approach?
Yeah, since we aren't allowed real practice anymore in the physical car, so the simulators are so big. We go to a place. Chevrolet has their own simulator. Pretty much every manufacturer has their own simulator. You go in, it's pretty much a real race car. You go in and sit in the real seat, same thing. And so they'll put up the track, and you go through real setup changes, real actual things you do. They give us a session from either 1 till 6, and we split. I have a teammate, so I'll split it with him. And you just go and you try to work through as many things as you possibly can while knowing it's not the actual track. So you kind of keep some things in the back of your mind. It's the closest thing we can do to kind of train and prepare. Those days are actually pretty exhausting because you're mentally working through all the same things as you are in the car. It's just not as physical.
Are they simulating the 300 degrees that it is outside right now?
Like what do you do in this heat? I mean, there's no AC, correct?
Just sweat your ass off. yeah, that's pretty much what we do.
Are you getting IVs before, or are you just hydrating?
Just all week, really. It's when you're cup racing week in and week out, you really have no time to recover. So, if you want to have some drinks, it's maybe Sunday night or Monday night.
Drinks.
But
I love that you just said that, Ty, that you're thinking about that.
It's a broad span, right?
What is your drink of choice?
Great question.
Man, so my wife and I just switched up to tequila, just like making some tequila drinks at home at night.
Guess made a team decision.
Yeah, team decision. Trying to keep the weight off the hips for me. So that's been our switch up. But we love wine as well. We love
red or white.
Red. So we have a sponsorship with Camus Wine, so Camus Cab is
Oh,
our favorite.
fancy. My sponsorships with Charles Shaw. I mean, and I say that respectfully. For those of you guys that don't know, Camus is an incredible wine. So
Carissa likes the $12 bottles.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I can afford.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got 2 sons. So does your brother help you, or is he like, hey, you know what, you're on your own here?
We're kind of on our own. We both appreciate and respect each other's careers.
Sure.
But you know, I kind of followed him. He's 2 years older than me, so I got to learn from the good and the bad, mostly the bad. And that sounds bad saying that, but it's the bad stuff that you actually learn the most from, right?
Sure.
So. He's been very successful in his career. He's won more races than me in the Cup so far.
Yeah, still time.
Yeah, but you know, it's cool to have a sibling doing the same thing at the high level, because when we do have those family dinners at holidays and whatnot, we can relate to things, and we both respect each other's career. We've had different paths, but it is cool to be able to experience with your older brother.
I mean, your grandfather's Richard Childress, so you guys have a long lineage of race car drivers. Was that just kind of like what was going to happen? Like
no,
you
no,
didn't.
yeah,
really?
they didn't really push
it. Wasn't a foregone conclusion?
No, I wanted to play football, but everybody outgrew me in my freshman year, so I was like, damn. I thought I was going to be the linebacker.
What did you used to play?
So I was a linebacker and fullback. I loved to hit, but I played older, lighter in Pop Warner, so I was bigger than everybody. So I loved it. I still have a huge passion for football. Follow it very closely.
Who's your team?
Who's your team? Yeah.
The Panthers. I grew up in Carolina, so
Okay.
that's all I've ever known. I'm adopted Seattle fan because my wife, her mother cheered for the Seagulls back in the day. So
yes. The Seagulls.
So we
have
have connections to both states. So I tried to play that game until they play each other, and then I have to go with my hometown team when that happens. But
how do you think the Panthers are going to be this year?
I think they're going to be good. I formed a relationship with their coach, Matt Rule. He's an awesome guy, really genuine, really good. And his first couple years haven't gone as well as I'm sure they all hoped. But I got to go to their OTA a couple weeks ago, and the team is really solid. You know, I haven't been inside of many atmospheres like a real football team, but it was fun, and they were really tuned in, and everybody inside that building was really happy to be there. So that was really cool to see from my knowledge. So I think they're going to be good. You know, they got some quarterback questions, but we'll see what happens.
You like the quarterback or no?
The new guy or the old guy that's been there? Which one?
Either one.
I think they both have potential. You know, I'm excited to see what Matt Corral does for sure. But
potential gets you fired.
That's right. That's right. No, I'm anxious to see what they do. So, you know, I'm going to cheer for them no matter what. But it's exciting for them.
The combination, real quickly, and then we'll let you go. We know you have other things to do. You're actually going to come back with Marty, though, in a little bit. Right,
yeah,
you're going to
I'll be
hang,
back.
you're going to grab some K-Miss. We're going to go get you some K-Miss.
Yeah, there you
can't
go.
find anything else, because you can drink today. But, you know, with the football connection, you saw the news today that Arch Manning, who's the grandson of Archie Manning.
I'm a Longhorns fan, so I'm
okay.
pumped.
Oh, my God, you got to be stoked. Okay, great.
Yeah.
This,
Wait,
for anyone
how are
that
you
doesn't
a
know.
Longhorns
Yeah,
fan?
it's a good story. It's a good story.
Okay.
This.
Yeah. So I got to meet Earl Campbell in Texas when I was about, I don't know, I can't remember the exact year, but I was really young. And he was like, who's your college team? And I grew up in Winston-Salem, so Wake Forest was always our team. And I was like, I don't know, Wake Forest. He's like, well, you got to pick a real team.
Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Oh, Jay's talking
And-
shit. He goes, that's tough.
Yeah. So they played pretty good last year. But he was like, you need to follow the Longhorns. That was actually the year that they went to the Rose Bowl, and it was Vince Young and those guys. So from that year on, I was a fan. Obviously started at the highest of highs. It's been rough, but things are turning. We got Sark, we got Arch, and we've got Quinn Ewers is our quarterback this year too.
I mean, getting Archie, like the recruits are going to start following now.
Yeah.
It's going to be the floodgates are going to open.
So I bring it up, well, unbeknownst to me, that you are a Longhorns fan, but also just coming from a family in that pedigree. What is your Thanksgiving dinner like? Are we playing games? Are we fighting? Or what's going on? Just kind of pull back the curtain on what it would be like at a family dinner.
It's competition, so you know we obviously do dinner together, and we're all happy and having fun. But near the end of dinner, we're planning our next competition, whether it's pickleball lately or golf or something.
Jay's a big cornhole player. You ever play cornhole?
Oh
yeah. You ever play cornhole?
I have. I'm not that great at it, but I can hit it pretty good.
Yeah, I'm getting good, really.
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Our family's on pickleball right now.
I've got to get really good by July 1st. So I've got about a week, actually a week.
I love
Perfect.
it. Well, thank you so much. We're excited to see you this weekend.
Thank
We
you.
will also see you next hour when Marty gets here. But continued luck. We'll find you that K-Miss. And
Right on.
you're going to give him?
What's that?
Yeah, that. I'm
Yeah.
from Seattle, so
Yeah,
you know what I
hook
mean. Thank you, Ty. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks,
it. Everybody give it up for
guys.
Ty.
Ty.
Thank you. You gave me the look when he said seagulls. Like, what? I'm not supposed to know what that is?
I didn't know if like you.
They were the cheerleaders in Seattle,
like,
and
did you want to be a seagull?
I know.
Like,
I never
up?
wanted, and I say this respectfully to cheerleaders.
Sure.
I always.
Do they have? They still have seagulls? I don't remember when.
They still have cheerleaders.
I don't
just
remember
they're
them
not
being
called
there.
Oh, because you were just concentrating on the game. I'm sure.
Super focused.
Yeah. Hyper focused. That's what he was doing. How's everyone doing? Do we have a drink? We're good. The AC's pumping. Everything's working around here. All right. I don't know.
It's Noah here?
Yeah, is Noah here? Noah, hi.
Get on up here, big guy.
Noah's just hoping that we didn't see him.
He's like, I didn't want no part of this.
Give it up, everybody, for Noah Gragson, driver of the number 9 car. How are you, my friend? I'm Charissa. Nice to meet you, sweetie. Excited to have you here. So what is your, what's
What
your
are you
drink
drinking?
of choice?
Yeah, what are you drinking?
I don't know. It's bootlegger or something. I don't know.
I mean,
Does anyone know what that is?
I don't know, but I'm excited.
Well,
he's
obviously the
drinking.
bartender knows what it is.
Bootwhacker. That's what it was.
Bushwhacker?
Bushwhacker.
It's a combination of Brian Urlacher and Busch League.
Here we go.
It all works together. How are you, man?
Where's your hat from?
Good. So I watched a movie. I went to Boot Barn the other. I'm from Vegas,
Yes.
so I'm not
You're
a
from
cowboy.
where?
From Vegas, so
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
a cowboy or anything. But I watched this movie 8 seconds and bought a whole fit. And
What do you
bought a
mean
hat.
this movie 8 seconds? It's a legendary
Oh,
movie.
you've seen that movie?
Of course I've seen that movie.
you
Oh
never
my
know.
God, Jay's always giving me a hard time. So you went to Boot Barn, you purchased the hat. What else did you purchase? Any
Wait,
boots?
aren't the boots like it's like buy one get two free?
No, I saw
buy
a
what?
bunch of
Something like that.
ads for that coming out here. We landed at the airport, but no, the boots aren't cheap. I noticed that they're super expensive. Yeah.
Well, the cars aren't cheap that you guys are driving either.
Yeah. It's I got my whole fit and I felt like a real cowboy after getting hat, Stetson hat, everything.
Well, why didn't you? You should have wore it here.
I know.
Well, he had so many choices in all of his new purchases. All right, so walk me through your schedule. We just heard Ty says he starts to lock in and focus a couple days before the race, given the heat, everything else. What's your plan for the
I like
know.
to more like have fun, I guess.
I love this.
I mean, it's Nashville, so
Yeah.
you got to go out and have a good time. So I've actually been to this loser's place last year, so that was a lot of fun.
Are you going to the concert tonight?
concert? Where's the concert?
There's a
Right up
there's a
there.
concert that starts at like 6 or 7.
Yeah, we got like practice at 4 tomorrow, so it's a little later. Which
4 p.m.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we
we
got
got
enough
plenty of
and-
time.
Okay,
be
well,
good.
let's walk through this thing.
Plenty of time.
So Jay, if you know that your game was at whatever, you have a 4 o'clock start.
Sure.
How late are you going out the night before? And then I need the same response.
Well, it's just practice.
Thursday.
Practice
He
tomorrow.
said it's just practice.
No, I understand.
Are we
Allen
talking about- are we
Iverson.
talking about
I
practice?
understand what that is all about, but I'm saying like, what's your preparation a couple days before the game? You can go out until what day?
Well, whenever we were young and dumb in Denver,
Yes,
we would go out on Fridays.
I know a little
And-
place called Spill.
Yes, and you would be running around there too. And
Running
then
around there.
as we got a little bit older, I decided, you know what, we're not going to do that. So like, you know, Fridays, Saturdays, Thursdays, just I
You
said
locked it in?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you are still young, and you can run around and do what you want. Your body can handle that. But
Yeah.
when do you lock it in?
I mean, I drink water throughout the week and stuff, getting hydrated, but really for me, it's just, I feel like if you prepare enough throughout the week, once you get to the weekend, you should be good to go. It's kind of like a test. If you study enough, you should be ready to go. And then on
This
the weekend,
track is just turn left, right?
yeah, no, that's how they all
Jay,
are.
let's walk Jay through this. He always just says that. Just turn left. Jay has
Oh,
never
now
been in a car.
now you're throwing
When
me
I
under
worked
the
at
bus.
ESPN, I did a NASCAR immersion, and I did not respect the sport the way that I should have, I'll be honest. But I sat in the car and I did full immersion, and I was like, holy shit. It is so much endurance.
What does full immersion mean?
You sit in the car, you go around, like have a driver with you, like it's.
Like how many
Did
laps?
you drive? You drove?
I
or-
drove.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
they
a
let
whole
you
different
drive?
experience. They let me drive. That's why it's called an immersion. You fully immerse yourself. Someone grab Jay the dictionary. So it was so hard, and I had a totally different respect for what it is.
How
that-
fast did you go?
Jay, I'll ask the questions here. So, will you explain to him why it's not just about going left?
I mean, I was kind of the same way. I thought it was just going in circles and, turn left and straight, turn left. It's not that hard. But then you get out there, it's 130, 140 degrees in the car.
130 degrees in the car, yeah. So how much does that add when it's this hot outside?
You're probably losing 10 pounds of water weight throughout a race. So
when did you start driving?
I started when I was 13. I'm 23 right now, so started when I was 13, and then
I need your skincare routine because you still look 13, and I say that respectfully.
Good,
As a
I guess.
woman who's 40, I need all the help.
Well, you look good. You look good.
You need it's the hydration, and it's the 10 pounds of water weight.
He just hit on you. You might have a shot here.
I'll let anyone hit on me right now, and I say that respectfully. Okay, so you thought you didn't respect. It's not that you didn't respect. You thought it was easier than it was.
Yeah, and then you start when you're younger in go-karts and kind of work your way up throughout the series, and probably a lot like football. You start playing flag football or Pop Warner, and go through high school, go through college, and then into the professionals. That's a lot how it is in racing. You start when you're younger. You're racing against kids your own age group. And,
when did you realize this is something that you could do for a living?
Probably back in 2015. I was racing.
So 2 years in.
Yeah. So.
You knew pretty quick.
Yeah, it's something that I've enjoyed and been very passionate about. I've had a lot of support, friends and family who believe in myself, and then you start winning races, and I've always had the passion for it, and finally have the opportunity to race professionally now, and it's become a dream of mine.
Yeah, a lot of drivers come out of Vegas.
Yeah, Kurt, Kyle Busch, a couple other guys.
Why is that?
I don't know, pretty big circuit out there.
I feel like racing is really big on the West Coast or East Coast, southern sport, but
North Carolina.
I don't know. They say there's something in the water out there, but Kurt and Kyle are really good, and I actually used to drive for Kyle Busch and his truck team back in 2017, 2018, and now currently driving for Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team.
I was just going to say, and you're splitting your time between Xfinity and the Cup Series.
Yep.
So what does it take for you, where are you at in the maturation of your career, to spend the majority of your time in the Cup Series?
So right now we're full-time Xfinity, which is like basically the second highest professional level, and then Cup Series is the highest.
Right. So
probably next year or two make it up to the Cup Series full-time, but it takes a lot of sponsorship and guys retiring and seats opening up. It's tough to make it up there, but right now we're running half the season, and it's been going all right so far.
I mean, will you race Saturday?
I'll race Saturday, yeah, here. Sometimes I'm racing Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I was about to say, how is that racing Saturday and then Sunday?
It's tough. That's gonna
be hard.
So Charlotte, I raced the 300-mile Xfinity race, and then next day raced a 600-mile long Cup race. That was a long weekend.
Grind.
It's long. IVs.
How often do you do
water.
that? Where you go back to back on those?
18 times throughout the year.
You double up 18 times?
Yeah, throughout the year.
So what we're trying to get at here is guys in the
weekends.
NFL don't have the endurance that you guys have, because that's ridiculous.
Can't play two games.
That's like playing a Thursday. That's a Thursday Sunday for your entire season.
I mean, I played quarterback. I could do it.
Oh, I know, but we're just getting to the point
Didn't really
that
sweat.
is. Biggest piece of advice you've gotten since you started?
Just be yourself and have as much fun possible. You never know when your last race is gonna be, and I try and live every day like it's my last, and have a good time, and try to make the most of the opportunity. You have to work hard and you have to be prepared, but at the same time, you never know when your last race is gonna be. So I try and live it up as best as possible.
I love it, Noah. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Here we go. Give it up, everybody, for Noah Gragson. Don't worry about it. How hot is it? Oh, what are we drinking over here?
I mean, they obviously.
Lauren's been kind enough. I don't know what's in this cup, but it's better for me that way.
We are.
All right, you guys. How are we doing? We need a Marty tracker. Where's Marty? Do we have an update, Lauren, on where Marty's at?
Do we have a Marty update? Anybody know where Marty's at?
No.
Has his plane landed? He'll be here at 5-ish.
Well,
we don't know.
So
Also, I also don't know why you threw me under the bus.
About what?
The whole left-hand turn thing.
Well, that's what you said.
Well, a lot of the tracks are like that, and he said it too. He
I know, it's a fair question. And again, I said I didn't cover NASCAR, but a lot of people say like, oh, they're just going left.
I mean, we all drive cars every day.
Just going left for 500 laps or in 130 degrees. That'd be like if your car didn't have air conditioning.
I wouldn't get in it. I almost die getting in my car coming here. I wanted no part of it.
Are you a good driver?
I'm an excellent driver.
Oh, Jesus.
You're a bad driver.
Oh, I'm a terrible driver.
Oh, I know. I already knew that.
It's not even a question.
I knew
have
that.
no patience for it, nothing, so I should learn a thing or two from
You
them.
hit curbs. You do the whole thing.
I had at one point like totaled 3 cars by the time I was like 21 years old. It's not good. Look, as my father always says, knowing who you are in life is knowing who you aren't. I'm not a good driver.
That's fair.
Hey, how does it feel to be perfect? I don't know, but whatever's going on at table number 16, I'm interested in.
Well, they're here. I met them. They're from Chicago.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Do you know them?
Ladies.
Table number 16.
Table 16 from Chicago.
Did you guys all plan on wearing white? You look, I mean, oh shit. Oh, it's a bit.
Yeah.
Because you forgot that Nashville has like a bazillion bachelorette parties. I like it though.
You love a good bit.
You look great. I love a bit.
Yeah.
I love marriage. But enough about me.
You love marriage?
Where is Ian? Is he in performing? Is he doing a sound check?
Get up here.
He went to bed?
He's right here. He brought in a posse
what's
of
a
26.
bit? Like a bit's like a comedy segment. There he is. He's like, can I just need to come up here? What's up, Ian? How are you? We're so good. It's only right that you take over the mic.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Ian, headlighting tonight, Whiskey Jam.
Yes, sir.
Let's go!
Oh, yeah, Nash Vegas. We're throwing down tonight. Let's go.
From Sheridan, Wyoming.
Yes, sir. Sheridan, Wyoming.
Where is that in relation to Cheyenne?
Okay, so Wyoming is a perfect square. Cheyenne is down here. Sheridan is up here, right by the Montana state line.
Okay.
Way up north.
Got it.
Yep.
Do you spend much time in Nashville? Do you reside in Nashville?
We actually live in Nashville. Yes, my wife and my 2-year-old live there.
Where?
We live near Old Hickory.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is your
way out,
wife
like on the
here?
northeast side.
Yeah.
She is. She's right there with the phone.
She is.
Watching us. Yes.
Oh, so this is parents' night out.
Yes.
Boy
absolutely.
or girl?
Boy.
Boy.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, man. I'm trying to teach him how to be a gunslinger like you when he grows up, Jay.
Put the ball in his left hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Start there.
Exactly, yeah.
Hater.
I love it.
That's a big, yeah.
So if you're starting him off, you want him to be an athlete, how did you get involved in music and where did your love of music come from?
My dad and my 2 older brothers all play music, so I really didn't have a choice, you know.
You're like Ty. You were born into it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But we all grew up, you know, on the cattle ranch, and we would do that, and then we'd go play on the weekends, and you know, I just really love country music, and specifically country and western music, because I think that country music needs a whole lot more western in it, in my personal opinion.
Okay, sell me on that and explain the difference. As I've loved country music, like my first ever concert was Brooks and Dunn. Faith Hill
Nice.
opened for
Awesome.
them because I'm old, but I have always loved country music. So sell me on the western.
Western?
Part of it. Yeah.
Western, to me, is that there's always a fiddle in it. There's usually a steel in it. Usually,
No, like a steel drum.
Okay.
usually there are
Glad you're here.
references to the land of the West. So
Okay.
mountains, canyons, horses, cows, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Do you like horses and cows?
I'm literally only going to watch him tonight.
I know that.
Come
and
on,
Taylor,
man.
she's here.
Come
she's
on.
here somewhere.
So my history in interviewing athletes and entertainers, having worked in both spaces. Entertainers always want to be athletes. Athletes always want to be entertainers.
Without a doubt.
There's an appreciation for
100%.
So, Jay, I know you can't sing. That's why you're an athlete.
You can sing. I've been
Don't
karaokeing.
get me started. I love a karaoke night, but this isn't about me.
Has
this is
anyone
about
been
Ian.
to Santa's Pub? here in Nashville.
Oh yeah, of course, legendary.
So went with Charissa. Do you want to tell them your jam, like?
Or sing it, but I mean, again, this
Either
is about
one.
Ian. I don't want to steal Ian's thunder right
Fair
now because
enough.
this is all about him.
What is it?
My go-to karaoke song? It's Cher, If I Could Turn Back Time, or
my
Bonnie
gosh.
Raitt, Let's Give Him Something to Talk About.
Yeah.
So
nice.
you don't need a karaoke song; you can sing your own. But before you had your own, what would have been your go-to?
Still is. It is "Heard It Through the Grapevine" by Marvin Gaye.
Oh,
Really?
well, because not everyone can sing that,
Wow.
so leave it to you. Can you give us a little sampling,
That's a
or do you
tough
need to be
one.
warmed up?
Woohoo! I bet you're wondering how I knew.
Nailed it.
Fantastic.
That's all you guys get. That's a free sample.
Of what we're going
If
to
I
see
were to do
tonight.
more, then it would gonna have to cost you.
Exactly.
All right. What
That's fair.
what can we look forward to tonight? What's on the set list? How do we determine a set list? I always have
Yeah.
questions. Like, how are we picking the music? Who determines that? You?
I usually run it by my wife. She knows what
man.
the people want more than me. I just like to make music, but we only get to play, 5, maybe 6. So it's like, man, it's really tough because you want to make sure that you get up-tempo songs, but you also have to play the songs
Yeah.
that people want to hear. So
Do you have a favorite? Do you get so sick of performing the same songs?
no,
Be honest.
No, I mean I've only been playing with my band now for a little over a year.
Yeah,
so
but is there that moment you're like,
I have a long way to go before I get tired of my songs, I hope, because if I don't,
Jay
then
played in the league 1 year and he's like, I'm over this touchdown thing. So I'm just gonna stand on the sideline. But
Don't
either
laugh
way.
at her jokes. You just encourage her.
Guys, I'm just getting warmed up.
How did you?
Musically.
How did you be quiet?
Okay.
How did you meet Alan Mitchell? I've known Alan Mitchell for 20 years.
Oh my
I did
gosh,
not meet
what?
him.
Are you
You
serious?
walked in and I said,
Oh yeah.
this guy.
I've known him forever.
Wow. I met Alan through my wife. My wife used to hang out in this bar, and Alan and Irv used to hang
A
out
lot. She
in this
said
bar
a
as
lot.
well. And they met each other, and then Caroline and I started to work with each other. And when it came time for us to partner with other people, Alan and Irv were the right ones, man. So he was our first ask, and it worked out well, and we've been crushing it ever since.
They're good guys. You got hooked up with the right people.
Yeah, man.
Do you write a lot of your stuff?
Yes, sir. I write all of it.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Does it come easy to you? Does it?
I love writing music, man. I always try and draw inspiration from how I grew up, like the ranch lifestyle. Just because I don't think that there's enough of that in country music right now. There's a lot of girls and trucks and beer, which is great, but I think that there needs to be more of Western ranch life, because people out there, they live, eat, sleep, and breathe country music, man.
Oh, they're doing it.
Yes.
They're
yes.
doing it.
They live it.
Where did you get your inspiration from? Any artists that growing up, or?
Man,
I mean, I think you got a lot of your inspiration just living it.
Yes. I love artists like Ian Tyson, who you guys probably don't know. Tom Russell, who you probably don't know. Like a lot of
So we're 0 for 2.
artists that are that are more in the Western cowboy world.
Sure.
More so than mainstream. But the Beatles are my favorite band of all time. So there's
Really?
that. Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Paul McCartney, hands
Fair.
down.
Why you're so emphatic about it? What was it about him?
The bass. I love the bass. He's one of the few lead singers who also plays the bass. So he was always like.
Isn't it incredible? You mentioned, and you say it humbly, being with your band for a year, but when you look at guys like that, or I look at the Rolling Stones, and you're
Yeah.
talking 5
Oh my
decades,
gosh, I know.
Lionel Richie, these guys that are just timeless.
Yes.
Like, it's incredible, when you look at what they're able to do. Biggest piece of advice that you've gotten in the music industry, I know I asked Ty about that in racing, but who's given you the best advice musically so far? Because everyone wants to be the first to shell it out.
Yeah. Larry Gatlin told me back when I was still in college, so I was probably 18 years old. He didn't even know who I was, but he said that the most important thing that you can do is show up.
Oh,
So,
I love that.
very simple.
I think that's anything in life.
Yeah,
it is, man.
exactly.
It applies to all of us. All you got to do is that, and then everything else comes from that, but that's what you have to do at the very minimum.
Oh, wait,
so.
the eternal romantic in me wants to know how you met your wife, because you speak so eloquently about her and you love her so much. I need to know how you met. Here in
we
this
met-
bar or next door?
We met in college, actually, right up the road. But after that, we kind of she
Belmont or Lipscomb?
Belmont. She had a
Okay.
huge crush on me. She'll never admit that, but she'll never admit it, and I just embarrassed her. But she got me my first gig as a touring musician on the road, and then she quit that band, and then I toured with that band for a long time, so we never really crossed paths until a few years later when I wanted to quit doing that and do my own thing, and she wanted to start her own management job. So that's how we relinked, and then through that met Alan, and now we're here.
The rest is history. You have
Yes.
a George Strait shirt on, so I'll be remiss if you don't give me a little Amarillo by morning.
Oh, up from San Antonio?
I'll have to wait for the full
Yeah,
song this evening
I
when
can't
you
touch
take center
George.
stage.
I can't touch George. I'll do Marvin Gaye all night long, but I don't want to touch George Strait.
Fair
Yes.
enough. Stay
Have
in
you,
our
have,
lane.
have you done sound check? We're all good?
Yeah, man. Yep.
I
Ready to
love
rock
it.
it.
What time are you going tonight?
I think we go on at 10 o'clock tonight.
10 o'clock tonight.
All right.
He's doing it. He's going to be amazing. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys for
Ian.
having me,
Thank
man.
you
It's
so
an honor.
much.
Anytime.
Thank you
Nice
very
to
much.
meet you.
You guys too.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Looking
Give it
forward
up,
to it.
everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Ian, thank you so much for being here, sweetie.
Thank you, winners. Thank you guys very
Thank you,
much.
sweetie. Oh, it's so nice to meet you too. How sweet is that? I love that. And I absolutely. Oh, well, I'll tell. Enough about me, Jay.
Yeah,
Kurt
enough
Busch
about
is
you,
here.
please.
How are you, honey? Charissa, nice to see you. Kurt, I think the last time I saw you was probably, I don't know, 10 years ago on a little show. You, too big of a deal to do it. That's a text chain that I'll tell you about in a second. With Michael Waltrip, and it was called Fast Track to Fame. And Michael Waltrip pulled a Ron Burgundy and looked in the prompter, and he goes, "I'm Michael Waltrip." And I said, "Well, this show's gonna be terrible."
Yeah, he's been on a few of those shows.
What a guy! I know. How are
third
you?
between
We
two
didn't do the
Bushes.
intro. Kurt Busch.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't need much introduction.
Yeah, I'm ready to help
Driver
people
of the
out.
45. And by the way,
Toyota 45 car.
and my affinity for Michael Jordan. I mean,
And
it's so. And Denny Hamlin, of course.
And do you know that 20% of the money is on you for this race?
20% of like the fan duel or
No,
fan,
like Vegas. Like
Vegas money?
your odds are to win this
Man, I
one.
needed to figure out how to get a percentage of any money that's thrown on the drivers. No, that's good. I like this track. We finished 6th here last year for the first race. And it's one of those towns where the vibe's going.
Yeah.
And then the track has its own vibe. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun to be here. So
It's a
Wait, wait, so what is the vibe?
little shorter track, is it not?
yeah, it's a little bit smaller than a 1.5-mile track, but you still get that good speed out of everything.
How fast will you go?
I never do this speed. I just know the lap time. Like we're shooting for.
You just
low-
said that you just said all gas.
Holy
Yeah, just-
shit!
just-
You know, he goes, "I don't even care about this speed."
Don't care.
No,
That's
it's-
amazing.
I'm just going.
Let's go. I don't know. It's probably 170 for top speed. So
Ho hum 170.
yeah, 170.
Easy.
I mean, it's like a. Did you ever count the seconds that you had from this linebacker coming to hit you?
No, I just
No.
hope no one hit me.
Just throw the ball quick. Yeah.
Get rid of
And by
it.
the way,
Get
his
rid of it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
He won't say this, but I will because I covered him a lot in Chicago. You got hit a lot in Chicago. That offensive line, Mike Tice, where was he?
I tell you what, I love Mike Tyson. I was at Derby, and I wish he would have been there because he usually goes.
Mike Tice, huge horse guy. This was
Huge.
Jay's, the
He-
offensive line coach for the Bears back in the day, who I used to babysit for randomly in
Wait,
Seattle.
what?
I know. I used to babysit for his kids. This isn't about us, Jay. This is about Kurt. What is your favorite?
I want to learn about babysitting and football, though, right?
Okay.
I mean, you guys know all about racing, right? I'm just kidding.
Not enough, right? Not enough people know about race.
Hey, Amazon delivery is calling you. I don't know if
Amazon
you need to take
delivery
this
is
one.
calling me right now. I've been waiting for this patio furniture for a while. Do you mind if I take
You
it?
should
No, it's
take
fine.
it, yeah.
It's worth missing the call to talk to you. You've had such success for a long time in this
The
business,
longest tenured driver with the most starts right now.
which is incredible.
I'm getting old. You can see the way I'm
No,
dressed. too.
no, no.
Me and Harvick.
Everyone up here is getting old.
Exactly. We've already addressed that.
Now, me and
34
Harvick have been out there the longest.
Yeah.
I've had great race teams that I've raced for, and with Monster Energy, they've been a great sponsor. I've been with them over a decade, and we've won a ton of races, and we just keep digging. Like, the phone keeps ringing, we keep winning, and we won with MJ
Well, I mean, I
this
think
year.
it's a testament, your stamina and how good you are, and your dedication to your craft, and still out there doing it.
I appreciate that. I mean, that's something that early I was brash, I was bold, I was mean, attitude. You're going to talk to Ross Chastain here in a little bit. That's who I was when I first started. And you learn things as you go. You take some hits, or you get some wins, and then you learn different things. And that's the different stages of my career, I would say, with each of the race teams. The owner is who I've almost adopted as some of my identity.
Ooh, okay. Well, your owner is now Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, which, interestingly enough, we'll get to the MJ part in a second, but you also still race with Denny. So how is that, like, you know, in terms of, it is your boss, right? But you're a competitor. I mean, it's very rare.
The easiest way, like, I raced with Denny Hamlin. He's half owner of the team, and I raced with Tony Stewart, who was half owner of the same team that I raced on. Mm-hmm. And then I raced for my little brother's team, where he was 100% owner, and I raced for my younger brother.
Crazy.
So I've been through some of these sequences and some of these patterns where I think it's helped me understand where there's those elements on track at 200 miles an hour, but you can't think about it too much. You just go. Because he would do the same thing to you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you're competitors.
Yeah,
if you're
there's
not,
a meeting where
we
Stewart
play to win the game.
Yeah, Stewart came to me. He's like, "Why didn't you take that hole at Pocono when we were 4 wide?" And I'm like, "I was kind of leaving it for you, buddy." He's like, "No, you messed up as a driver in that moment."
Yeah.
I like that.
So, and one of the things,
you take it.
But imagine your owner's also your, like, competitor.
That's where it gets a little convoluted in that sport, because it's like, all right, you own a team, or you're racing, and you have drivers.
You had friends that you played against, right? Jeff Friend?
But I mean, like,
Jay didn't have a lot of friends, actually.
2.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to get to.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Fist bump.
Thank you.
Oh, she's full of them. Like,
Don't care. We'll get to both of your attitudes in the
She's
sport
got a
later.
flight here soon. I can't wait to get rid of her. I regret the decision immensely. But like, I mean, there's kind of been in the last probably 5 years, kind of a changing of a guard, and like now you're like you're the driver, the older, the veteran, the wise one. Like, do you feel that? Is that something that you like, or you take it? Like,
his 34 Career Cup Series wins will tell you that you're the veteran, and you know the one this year too. Like that's.
Yeah, you could sit there and want to camp on stats, but at the same time you have to keep evolving. You have to stay fluid, stay liquid, and move forward, because if you get complacent, you get left behind. Simulation work has been huge recently. So I'm glad I played Nintendo as a kid, but simulation work...
Is that majority of like what you guys are doing in the week?
But it's not the real thing still. It's still
How
only
so?
80%, like tire grip level.
Yeah.
And track grip level is not the same as real life. Right here, ass in your pants.
Nothing probably will ever simulate like in the car.
Yeah, and being out there,
Yeah.
snapping the ball and
Sure.
being in the pressure of the game.
Yep.
And so those are moments that I'll still rely on as a veteran.
Yeah.
And what restart lane to pick, or what moment I can override the crew chief. Like in St. Louis, I overrode the crew chief a couple weeks ago to win a stage, but then we had to run the final stage restarting 28th. Guess what? I had to bust my ass, get all the way back up to 5th.
Sure.
And then we got to 3rd. We damn near won it, but it's because I knew the car was that good.
Yeah. Do you? I mean, you're kind of. I mean, you're like we just talked about. You're the veteran out there. I mean, do you still get nervous race day? Do you? I mean, do you have the nerves, the
I
butterflies?
love that.
all the
You
things?
still want to do it.
Still the same. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's important to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm doing good, still sleeping like Saturday nights, but like Sunday I wake up and it's like race days just seem more alive.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many more there might be.
Being the veteran, the next gen car. So I know that was introduced to make things more competitive and balanced. Yeah. Do you like it? Do you not like? What can you explain?
What cuss level can I use on the show?
This is Jay's show, so whatever you want.
Fire away.
The car is fun to drive. It is. It's tougher. It's meaner, and it's shittier in most situations because of
What do you mean?
aero.
How so?
It's just the aerodynamics of it.
Okay.
And there is a hornet's nest of guys that are running the same speed from like 5th to 25th, and it's mean.
And you, I mean,
It's
yeah,
mean
like,
in that
you,
sector.
I mean, you can't pass anybody. Like
It's
you're
tough.
literally
you
just.
can. It's just tough. You got to
Yeah.
move them, or you got to
Bump
find
'em.
something in your little bag of tricks.
Yeah.
But the top 5 guys still respect each other and how they're running that day and what's going on. But the new car is challenging because it's so equal. And that's where we can't applaud the new car and say that everything is cool about it. It's
Like-
just everybody's got the same shit now.
Like I'll play basketball with my 9-year-old, and my bag of tricks is a lot more than his. So, like when you're out there and you've been doing it so long, you're like, hey, like I can manipulate. You know, Noah's up here, he's 23. Like, hey, I can move you around the track if I want to.
Yep, that's where like St. Louis. I just went into turn 1. I wasn't gonna mess with Allmendinger. I was just gonna flick him and get the hell out of there. Yeah, just get
I
in
like
here,
that.
just flick him a little.
What is that? What is
What's
your
flick 'em
definition of
mean?
flick 'em? Yeah.
I mean, to move him up a lane.
How do you do that?
Well, Chastain moved Denny 3 lanes. That was bad.
Can't do that.
So don't move him too far.
That's a big flick.
That's like a.
That's through the A gap
That's
with
an
no
FU.
protection.
That's a middle
flick-
finger.
Yeah, just flicking him in the right spot, but you got to run like hell.
Yeah.
When you make those moves, so you got to know you got distance in front of you.
Gotcha.
Because if you flick somebody
Yep.
and then you're stuck behind the next guy, that guy's gonna come back and get you.
I'm gonna start flicking people on 65.
Lifting people. I know the finger goose. Have you seen Top Gun?
I haven't. I'm saving it to go with buddies, and we're gonna trim up, and go with just mustaches.
Oh, I love it.
And aviators, yeah.
I've heard such amazing. Have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it, but I've heard it's amazing.
I can imagine. I mean, you're on the ground, the need for speed there, and then there. So when you watch that, do you ever have like an appetite to do something like that?
Oh, it's probably 3/4 of the memes that I use or GIFs that I use on my phone. So I think he's in that team meeting, and he goes like
Give
this,
me
right?
the Ray-Bans. I mean,
You're
unfortunately.
Kelly McGillis, right?
I mean, can
Be
we?
like, yes, ma'am.
I love it. I love it. I'd be remiss before I let you go. Michael Jordan, the decision to go with the at-race team and what it's like and best advice that he's given you, having being the ultimate competitor.
Yeah, Denny asked me to do this 2 years ago now. Toyota said, let's do this together. They want a veteran to come in and be the second car with Bubba Wallace.
Uh-huh.
And Monster Energy's like, let's roll. So many signs said, let's go. And when I met MJ for the first time, he put
Were you
me at
nervous?
ease. I was, of course.
I would be. Have you met him?
I have.
Oh, he is to Chicago.
Yeah, like he's. It was quintessential MJ though, with tequila and a cigar.
Cigar, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like,
Was it the really long cigar?
he was about halfway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
a
you're
cigar guy?
Yeah, I can be.
Yeah?
Yeah, when we do something special, but not every day.
We're doing cigars. I'm gonna send you some.
We need to get some of those. Yeah.
I love that.
From the DR. You'll love them.
Nice.
I'll send you
Nice.
some.
Where he put me at ease right away in the interview process is he says, we know you race from the heart because it's the way that I played the game.
Oh.
I just need you to be a leader as a veteran of this group of guys on good days and bad days. And I said, yes, sir, I'm in.
Oh, I love that.
So it's cool to get that assurance right away that
Yeah.
I don't have to prove that I'm okay to be here.
Well, your resume speaks for itself.
So what will your last question? What will your process be the next couple days leading up to the race? Dinner, have fun. I mean, you've done it before, so.
For me, it's race mode. Tonight, my little brother has a movie documentary premiere. That's why I'm dressed this way.
Look at you. Oh, I
so-
thought it was just for Jay to show some respect because.
Well, with Jay
Jay
being
demands
cut off
that.
shorts and a tank top, right?
It was 100.
Don't care.
Tonight with little brother, and then MJ has a party here in town with Socorro Tequila.
Did
We
you
got
see my
practice.
face?
Where's
We
it
got
at?
I
qualifying.
have a flight to New York, but I'm willing to cancel it.
No, he's a unicorn. He's really hard to spot. He's really hard to find. But yet, if you see him, he's only going to be there for a little bit.
I like the elusiveness.
I know. Carissa, if you get an invite, I'll be your +1.
And then I got a race to
calling
win
him
on
Audra
Sunday.
Shot right now.
And then there's
He's
race
somewhere.
Sunday. Come on. That's what we're here for. We're here for the
I'm
race.
canceling this
right?
trip or I'm
Sunday.
coming back.
Yeah. We're here for the race.
Kurt Busch, always worth buying a ticket to see you. Thank you very much for the front row
Thank you,
seat
guys.
to chat
Appreciate
with you. So nice to see you again. Give it up, everybody, for Kurt Busch. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Love mine. Don't worry, my fake hair extensions are just all over the floor. Those cost extra. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the fun. You guys went to school together? What happened? How are we doing on time? We need a Marty update, Lauren.
Marty, update. Can we run this longer or just stretch it out?
Oh, we're fine. I can talk
Stretch
all
it
day.
out, Charissa.
I usually need a muzzle.
Yeah, it's the Charissa Thompson show. I'm a sidekick.
Can you when in your career did, and say this seriously, don't try to make a joke, but were you know when he says he still gets nervous, were you still nervous before each game?
100%.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I hated warm-ups.
Why? Because you just wanted to play?
Yeah, I was like, let's just kick this off because it was like nerve-wracking. Like the crowd's there. Like it's like, hey, let's go, kick it off. Let's get hit once. Let's play the game. Let's go.
Did you ever have a different sport that, I mean, obviously that wasn't football, that you would want to be a professional in if you could?
Baseball because it's easier.
You want to play 162 games? Hell no.
It's chill.
Yeah.
You barely have to do anything.
No, you want to be a starting pitcher. You only work every 5 days.
Every 5 days.
And
Still baseball, like I said. Baseball is a sport.
what position?
It's just a grind.
What position would you have played?
Well, I think that you want to play first or right if I was doing it.
Because you want to be the star.
What right fielders are stars? I mean, there's only a handful.
No, I'm just saying, like, you want it. I went first.
No, I
base,
just don't want to move a lot.
That's actually very talented.
No, first base, you take
You
a
want to
couple.
just Chipper Jones, just
Yeah,
like.
you take a couple steps, catch the ball, you're done.
That's funny. All right, how's everyone doing? Good.
I mean, what were you gonna do if you weren't hired by Fox and everybody else?
I was going to be a sports agent. I went to school to be. Well, I got my degree to be a.
You went to college?
I did, yes. I
You
did.
graduated?
Phoenix, DeVry, and then
The online type.
And then graduated from
Got it.
UCSB. But no, my degree was in law because my backup plan was sports agent. But as you know, Jay, I used to work in human resources at Fox Sports just to get in the building. I went through everyone's files. You think I'm kidding? I didn't. I went through everyone's files, figured out what everyone made, figured out what everyone did bad, and then completely blackmailed them to get a job in production.
I believe it.
If you guys have a dream, come talk to me about how to work the system.
How to blackmail people.
Where's Justin Marks? Is he here? Justin! What's that? Oh, Marissa sounds like she's got a story, and I'm interested. Is Justin here?
Justin, are you here?
Justin gave up on us?
Is Justin here?
Justin,
All right, it's just me and you.
wait, I want to know your story. What's happening over here? Okay, it's not.
Hey, come on up here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I hope this is good.
Okay. While we wait for Justin, we need to hear. Wait, first of all, you have to introduce yourself.
Hi.
You got grab the mic.
You gotta talk in the mic.
Oh, I
Jay,
gotta
Jay
talk
likes
in
this
my
joke.
mic.
You got to talk in the mic. All right.
All right.
So your name, where you're from.
So my name is Marissa. I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily blackmail my coworkers, but I could.
Okay. Wait, what's the story? You gotta give us a background. Give us a background.
So background is I know that they got a little frisky before I started working there, and then I started working there, and now
She hates talking to the mic.
I'm kind of torn because I am a salesperson for them, and then
So you know something about them. Is
I
this
know
gonna get you fired if they post this?
No, it won't get her fired.
Okay, all right. I'm not in the business of getting anyone fired. Okay, fair enough. So let's go back to you being from Chicago.
Yeah.
Were you a Bears fan when Jay was there?
Bears fan, yes. I went to the Bears game all the time.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Every Sunday.
And you guys are here for a fun girls' weekend? Is that what's going on?
Sisters.
All sisters.
All four sisters.
I love it. All right, give it up for sisters and girls trips and go Bears. I love it. Thank you. And I hope you don't get fired from your story.
Yeah, we're not gonna post that because you probably are gonna 100% get fired.
I'm not in the business of getting anyone fired. No. We're all about employment here. All right. So Marty, we don't know where Marty is. So Jay, have you been to a NASCAR race before?
No,
You haven't?
I don't think so. Maybe one.
What do you mean
Not
Raise
sure.
your hand here if you guys are listening.
Justin's here.
If Justin's here, Justin,
Get up here.
Justin, I just asked Jay. Hi, honey. How are you? I'm Carissa.
Hey, Justin, how are you?
Good. I just asked Jay if he had been to a race before, and he said, I think I have.
Been to what?
A race before.
I've been
You
to
think you have.
I've been to Indy.
I was like, you probably did it the right way if you think you were there.
Yeah.
Exactly. And by that, we mean he doesn't remember much of it. But you try not to forget if you're there. How are you? Oh, Justin, this is your hometown.
Yeah, I've been here for 2 years. Apparently, I'm like the only guy that's moved here in the last 2 years.
No, yeah, you and me both. Everyone hates us.
She just moved here too, so you and the rest of the world are moving to Nashville.
Yeah.
I moved here in June 2020. You know, when we started Trackhouse, we started this team. We wanted it to feel different than a NASCAR team. We wanted to really try to build a sports and entertainment brand. And, while we had to do the race shop and everything out of Charlotte, just supply chain and people, to build a brand that transcended the sport, that just felt different, looked different, Nashville just felt like the place to do it. So 3 of our 130 people work here, and sort of feels like home.
So Justin, Mark, sorry.
You guys are Trackhouse is on fire right now.
Yeah, I mean
you guys are. I mean, for a owner early on and just kind of building this. I mean, you guys are just. I mean, you're winning races, you're placing, you're doing all the things.
Well, I mean, what I tell people is, it's not a surprise that we're winning because I wouldn't have made the investment and took on this project and the stress and everything like that to build anything less than what I felt really could be a winning organization. It's just happened so fast. I mean, last year was our first year, but we were contracted with another team. We were just learning the ropes. A lot of the people that worked for the organization weren't actually our people. So this is like our first year being fully autonomous and our first year on our own as a 2-car team. To win 3 of the first 16 races, it's pretty wild.
Say that again, say it with your chest.
But I mean, it's you were a racer as well, so it's not like you're oblivious to like what it takes and what you're looking for. So like you went into it eyes open and knew, hey, like we need to do it, this, and this is what it takes.
Well, I mean, look, we have a new car this year that we've never raced before, and so for the first time in the series history, we're buying all of our parts and pieces from independent vendors. So we can't use engineering or money or like resources quite as much anymore. It's about the people. And you know this, and you'll appreciate this, Jay. Like I said, with this car, we can actually build a sports team. Yeah. We can build a sports team where we get good people and we really invest in the culture and we have each other's backs and we get people motivated and excited and have that fighting spirit and feel like we're going as a real team.
Yeah.
We can have success that way, and that's what this car has allowed us to do.
Oh, that's like anything else. Everyone has the same motivation, same goal, going to the same thing. Leadership's on point. And Chrissy, you can probably talk to this of being at Fox. That's probably why you stayed so long.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I've worked every place but CBS and NBC a little bit, but I always end up back at Fox because it's a culture and it's family, and they let you be you. And if you can authentically be you, and again, to your point, in any organization you played for. If you can do that, then that takes out a lot of the stressors, right? So for those, you walk into a room and you pitch Trackhouse, how are you pitching that?
Yeah, that's a great question. What we're trying to do is be the first race team that we're the only race team in NASCAR that the name of it isn't related to the owner.
Yeah.
That's true. What we're doing is we're building a brand, right? So what I say is that we're storytellers. We're telling great stories. Daniel Suarez, the driver of the 99, Mexican kid, moves to America, doesn't speak the language, with a dream of being a NASCAR driver. That's one
favorite to win this race too.
Yep.
Him and Kurt.
And Ross Chastain, 8th generation watermelon farmer from Florida, bootstrapped it, just tried, and so. What I say is that we're a movement. Like we're a brand and we're a movement and we're storytellers. And what we want to do is we want to compel our partners, our fans, and the sport to really be something that compels the fans, like that excites the fans, and really try to build a fan base like a sports team, right? I mean, a lot of these teams are the namesakes of their owners, but there's no team in the sport that's like the Yankees or like the Warriors. We're like when
Dallas
people come
Cowboys.
and go, like I'm a Yankees fan or I'm a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to build.
Yeah.
Well, this is a buzzword. Everyone's at brand. What's your brand? All these different things, right? How would you or who would you equate yourself to, as you mentioned, some of those other teams, or who would you attain? Who are you striving to be? Like, who are those organizations? You named a couple of them, but which organization across all sports sort of align with your guys' philosophy?
Well, I mean, I think that I think of us more than sports, right? I mean, like, Pitbull is a partner of our team, and we sponsor
Mr. Worldwide.
We sponsor Misha Tate in the UFC and James Hahn in the PGA, and we do all these things. So I look at companies like Virgin. I look at companies like Disney, where it's a very strong brand, and they set themselves up to be able to explore all kinds of opportunities. I mean, we've got things in the pipeline here in this market in Nashville to connect the world of racing and Americana and American culture and entertainment and everything. So I look at companies like that more as like, media, content, sports and entertainment type companies.
Well, you see guys like Kurt Busch, Ty, and with everyone here even as an example of being able to have access to these athletes. It's different than other sports, right? And I mean, I worked in hockey, and part of the reason I love the sport is because the guys were so down to earth, unassuming. They could be at a restaurant and someone would be like, oh, I don't even know that's Sidney Crosby, right? So when you get guys in this sport that are so willing to market the sport and push the sport, it's got to make your job a little bit easier.
Well, that's one of the great things about NASCAR is that, NASCAR was really a blue collar sport. And it was born out of that American rebel spirit, that blue collar, American work ethic. And that's something that's really stayed consistent as NASCAR has become a major American sport and it's gotten high tech and everything, is that we are really accessible, and we understand that one of the things that makes us special now in a sports and entertainment landscape that's getting very competitive, our niche is the fact that we're really authentic and we're real and accessible, and our drivers are, they stand behind that and they realize the importance in that. And that's why what I love about Daniel and Ross, our two guys, I mean, they are very authentic, real guys, and they'll stop and talk to anybody, and whether that's here, or on pit road or anywhere. So that's one of the things I love about NASCAR, because that's how I fell in love with it, because my father took me to the Daytona 500 in 1995 when I was 15 years old, and I was able to talk to my heroes. Some damn kid that whatever walking around, and that stuck
awesome.
with me.
I mean, you're building an incredible brand, and like you guys are successful as hell. I mean, whenever you were driving in towards the end, like, did you know that you wanted to start your own team? Did you know like the next step that you wanted to do, or was there kind of a transition period, like, hey, I've got to figure out what the hell I'm going to do next?
I mean, I raced cars for 20 years. I'm semi-retired because it's hard to actually meet a retired race car driver, because it's like, it's hard to walk away from it. I considered myself after a 20-year career as being a good race car driver, not a great race car driver. Okay. But my talent got me there, but it didn't get me to the point that like I really dreamt of, and that was like winning at the top level. Winning a Daytona 500. So when I got to be 36, 37 years old, I had to look myself in the mirror and ask myself, look, that dream is still very alive, but am I going to do it as a race car driver? Well, not at this age, and I haven't accomplished it yet. So what do I need to do to try to achieve that dream? And that personally was the genesis of Trackhouse. I was like, I got to get out of the car, and I got to do this on the business side, because I was always just better at that than I was at the driving side. So I checked some good boxes. I won some good races. I got to race in a Daytona 500. I got to win a NASCAR race. But this is, I got to that moment where I was like, you're not going to just do this forever. Like, try to truly go do something great.
Do you still get nervous on race day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting better at it. Like, my colleagues are, I don't know if their heart rates ever elevate, because they've been doing this for like 15 and 20 years, but when those cars take the green flag and all fire off
you're on edge.
3 wide, I'm just like, I still can't watch the first couple laps. I'm getting better at it, though.
Aside from Nashville, what's your second favorite race?
It's just so hard to beat the magic of the Daytona 500. Yeah. It's just, when you drive in that place in February, on race more, so I raced in one Daytona 500, and a good friend of mine said, when you wake up on Sunday morning of the Daytona 500, 9 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, race doesn't start till 3. It's going to be quiet. All you're going to hear is some generators, you're going to see some seagulls. No one's in the grandstands yet. Just walk around and soak it in, which I did. I took my golf cart and I drove around the infield. Everybody's waking up or whatever, and I just took in there's a gravity in the air in that moment where you're like, this is the summit of our sport. This is the pinnacle of our sport. Because 4 hours later, we're doing media. There's 250,000 people there. It's madness. The Daytona 500 is just on another level.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on all your success on and off the track, and your ability to recognize when it's better to walk away and then advance. I mean, I make a living talking to guys that played and are like, all right, we're done, and then keep it moving. So let's welcome Jay Cutler to the stage. No, I'm kidding. So nice to meet you, Justin.
Thanks, all. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Give it up, you guys, for Justin Marks. It's like, would you ever want to get into management?
Come in.
Like when Justin's talking about like walking away from a sport and you're like, okay, there's only so much I can do. Obviously, you played a long time, but did you ever want to get into ownership or coaching or that other stuff? No.
Not coaching. Like I'd get into the like scouting, like GM world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What it like draws you into the GM part of that? Just creating
just recognizing talent and like you said, like building a team and a culture. Like I think that's where you can really affect something. Like
with all the coaches on the currently employed in the NFL right now, you're building a team with what coach?
Kyle.
Yeah. Why? Because he's willing to think outside the box and create.
And I also know his lineage. I know Mike. I know. I know that. Like I'm just kind of like I have an affinity to that.
Yeah.
That would be my choice.
Yeah, because it takes a special
I mean,
person. What's up, guys?
Hello, guys.
How are you? Welcome.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for being here.
How close do we need this thing?
You can. You know what? Whatever you want to do, it's your world.
Here, we're sharing a mic, and you have 2 mics.
Well, you guys are here. There you go. We're passing them along.
So there you go.
You're wearing the Tootsie shirt.
We don't have to share mics anymore.
Yeah.
What's that?
We don't have to share mics anymore.
No, you don't have to share mics anymore. Did you just buy that shirt?
I bought it. You like it?
Oh my God, I love it.
Tootsies.
Jay's blonde and my hair's fake.
I'm gonna actually be driving this car on Sunday. So yeah, this is my car.
Yes. I love that.
Who came from the watermelon
Somewhere
farm?
here should be my
Show and
name.
tell up here.
Yeah.
Watermelons?
Yeah, who came from the watermelon
Me.
farm?
That's me. Florida, Mexico.
Two opposite words.
Yeah.
Two opposite worlds.
Yeah, I'm the watermelon farmer.
Tell me about watermelons.
Oh boy, I don't think we have enough
A
time.
question I never thought Jay would ask.
I don't
Like
think we have enough
seedless
time.
watermelons?
Yeah.
Or seedless watermelons?
Yeah.
Oh, by the only watermelons to have.
Unfortunately, I still prefer seeded.
Why?
That's the OG. That's the OG of
No,
watermelons.
I want to spit them out. I want that's fun.
Yeah.
Get some
Yes, that's the whole
sunflower seeds
process.
if you want to spit something out. Get a
Yeah.
chew, get a dip in your mouth. No, come on.
Yeah. So we
So,
farm them.
do you guys get along? Are you guys friends?
We're friends
Oh, that's a
Monday
weird
through
question. What if they
Friday.
were like, no, we don't get along? Can I have that? You guys are friends?
Monday through Friday, we're friends.
Monday through Friday, you're friends.
My goal is to not be an enemigo.
Enemigo. So
He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care either. No, but we're friends, but obviously on Sundays we race each other pretty hard. So we're always pushing and banging a little bit, but that's part of the fun.
Well, we just had Justin explain how how they're trying to do things differently at Trackhouse, and what is it about that team that was enticing to you guys?
For me, I've been very fortunate to be part of a few race teams, a few good race teams in the past, and I would say that the biggest lesson for me is being people.
People?
People, yeah,
People.
and Trackhouse has done an incredible job building people. Making sure that the people that we have are happy doing what they're doing. Whatever that may be, if that's driving the truck, cleaning the race cars, or building the race cars, we have 140 employees and make sure that everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're happy doing it. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why we have had the overnight success, because the team.
You guys are on fire.
The team has been on fire, but it's been about, everything that Justin Marks, Ty Norris, Pitbull, and a lot of people have built from the very bottom, that everything starts with the people.
Well, in my world of the NFL, Bill Belichick says, do your job, right? Like, whether that is you're the line cook in the cafeteria, whether that's the athletic trainer, whether you're, at the time, Tom Brady, whoever it is, everyone just do your job. So that philosophy, it sounds like, resonates throughout Trackhouse. And what specifically is it for you that you are most excited about being aligned with them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a continuation for me of the race team I drove on before, and we're in the same building. A lot of the same boys and girls are working on the cars. It's like a totally different world. It's wild to have witnessed and seen. I'm new to the Cup Series. This is my second full-time year, so I don't have a lot of experience in it, but to see how people worked and just how we interacted and how we interact now with the same guys and ladies that are building our race cars, it's a totally different environment, and that starts with Justin and Ty down. Justin came in and set the precedent. He's there, he's involved, he's engaged, and that lets us just go do our job. And it's wild to me that our job is to drive race cars. Like, I still can't believe Justin pays me to drive a race car. So the fact that, because they've told me that same thing, like, stop worrying, you just go drive the car, please. Stop worrying about everything else. And now we're just race car drivers, and that's all we've. I think I can speak for both of us. That's all we've ever wanted.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, your organization says, "Hey, we trust you. You're not going anywhere. Go do your job. We can support the hell out of you guys, and no matter what happens, we got your back." I mean, that just instills confidence in what you're doing, and you don't have to worry about anything else. Like, hey, I'm not going to lose my sponsor. I'm not going to lose my ride. I can just go out there and just do my job, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing in going back, to your world in the NFL. You hear players talk all the time about moving from one team to another and the culture in the locker room, right? And it starts from the top. I asked Jay the question before you guys got up here about, he was saying that he would like to, if he wasn't playing, what role would you want to have? And he said a GM in terms of, he said Kyle Shanahan, right, as his GM. So similar to Justin, where it sounds like you guys can be you, and he lets you be who you guys are. So
you would want to be a GM?
Yeah, like I would. I mean, I don't want to.
Crazy?
I'd want to like build a team.
Okay.
Hire the coach.
Yeah.
Figure out the culture, do all the things.
So I said, who would he hire? And he said Kyle Shanahan.
I got you. The last thing I would ever want to do in my next career is to, one, own or be a part of running a race team. Like, I couldn't imagine.
Why?
Because, for me.
How old are you?
Yeah, 29.
Okay, you've got many years to go in this game.
But
you're gonna get so much more wisdom, and you're gonna figure, like, in the end of your career, you're like, you know what? Like, I could figure this out. I could build something. I could hire the right drivers.
What Jay's trying to say is you're not jaded yet.
True.
That's true. But could you imagine would you ever want to be in that role?
Man, I don't know. At this point, no. Not at this point. I just feel that, I'm 30 years old, and I feel that I'm going to be racing the way that I take care of myself. I hope I'm racing the next 15 years. And I love racing. Like NASCAR is probably the only motorsport out there professional series that races from February to November every single week but one.
Yeah.
And honestly, that off week, we just had it actually last week.
Yeah.
And I was like, what should I do? Like, I really wanted to race something. Like, I love racing. That's what I love to do.
How many speeding tickets do you have in your life?
I can tell you that.
You can't? Well, it's public record.
We actually haven't asked anybody that question. Or, like, what are your guys' daily drivers? Like, what kind of cars are you guys driving around?
So my daily driver is,
he drives his race car around everywhere.
We both were sponsored by Chevrolet, so we drive Chevrolets daily, We both drive Chevrolets.
They're free.
Yeah.
They're free.
If it's free, it's me.
If it's free, it's nice.
If it's free, I'll take 3.
But I grew up, I didn't grow up in racing. I grew up in a restoration shop. So my father restores old cars for a living.
Is that how you got into racing?
That's how I got into cars and then racing.
Okay.
So I drive a lot of old cars. I like that.
What's your favorite old car? I want the Porsche from Top Gun. You could probably tell me the year. The 2-seater. She flies over the hill. It's silver.
Yeah,
I should
that one
know
is
the
nice.
year.
Oh, right
That-
before the sex scene.
Okay, that's
Got it.
enough. But yeah, I'm always curious if, like, for race car drivers, are you having to put like a governor on your car because you just naturally want to floor it? Have you ever gotten a speeding ticket?
I mean, yeah, I've gotten a speeding ticket. We actually ahead of the Darlington race a few weeks ago, we drove out of Charlotte. It's about 2 hours away from where we live, and just happened we were driving like together, but we didn't plan it. So I pulled up next to him and waved. And then we spent the next hour and a half getting passed by everybody on this 4-lane highway going through the middle
Because
of
you guys
nowhere,
were
South
trying not to
Carolina.
speed?
We just were driving like the speed limit or a little over, and people are just blowing. And I'm just like, yeah, we're just cruising along here. So it's funny. It does feel slow for me when I get on the highway, but
I bet.
I feel safer in the car.
You go 200, and then it's like, all right, now I got to drive 35.
Right. Let me say something on that I have mentioned before. And I'm sure you have lived this before as well. The adrenaline that we live on Sundays, doesn't matter how fast you try to go on the street, you will never get even 50% of that. So if you think about it, it's not worth it. You know, the risk versus reward is not worth it. Plus, 99% of the people are on the streets. They don't know that we know how to drive.
99%.
99.9 probably.
Here's a question. Since you guys have to stay so hydrated, given how hot the car is, 130 degrees?
What do you mean?
Like,
He was at Tootsie's last night.
Not
He's
even
going to
taking
go.
into consideration. No, the question is, what do you do if you have to go to the bathroom?
We don't go.
We don't go. And the reason
mean?
that,
Well, how do you not go?
Well, we're not sitting around drinking.
well, we are.
Well, I mean, you're
Tootsie's
taking
is
in
But
fluids.
here's the deal, like, in football, like, we had like a halftime. So, like, and you could have a break. Like, you know, you're playing offense, defense comes on, you got to run, they put a towel around you, you can pee.
Go into the tent.
Halftime, you can pee. Like, there's no, like, the car just keeps going around the track.
Yeah.
So, like, adrenaline just keeps you guys so you just don't have to go?
I mean, we're sweating enough. We're
Have you
exerting
ever
enough.
peed your pants?
Have
is
you
the
ever peed your
question
pants is the
here
question.
that we're getting
Yeah,
to.
once.
One time.
Once?
time.
Yeah, you got to do it,
Yeah,
right?
Thank you for
It's
being
not
honest.
good.
I've had to do it, and I'm not a race car driver.
She's probably peed her pants right now.
I actually did. I peed my pants one time. I was so drunk, and it was at the Super Bowl in Indianapolis. I peed the bed, and then I called down to the hotel, and I said, I don't know what happened. Someone came into my room last night, and the bed's all wet. And they were
I'm
like,
not
what
surprised by
happened?
that at all.
But enough about me. So it happens. I mean,
Did-
seriously.
You
I
never
don't-
have?
What? Pee?
He's not willing to admit it.
Oh, you
More-
just
way
gonna
more
act
than
like
once.
he wasn't gonna answer it.
No. Way more than once, yeah.
Daniel's
More than
peed his
once.
pants.
Yeah. No, but here's the
He
thing.
is right now.
I'm about to
I
pee
don't
my
know.
pants right now. Honestly.
I don't know about you, but
Are we almost
the times
done?
the times that I actually have pee in the car is when it's cold outside, and the reason
Why?
Because you're not sweating as much.
Exactly.
And
So
you're
you
hydrated.
keep drinking,
Whoa, who's
but you're
the
not getting
doctor?
everything out. So, for example, this weekend, we're going to be 98 degrees outside. We're going to be 140, 145 degrees in the car.
Yep.
There's no way we're going to pee.
Look at this.
That's
It's
why
all-
we're skinny.
By the way, I think I got the 145-degree seat sitting down
No,
here.
I was going to say,
Yeah, you got the sun.
Go
Yeah.
get some reprieve. Daniel and Ross, thank you guys so much for jumping up here. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. And you know what? This segment was sponsored by Depends. We will get you guys some diapers for the next go around, so we're here for you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you both.
Good luck, guys.
Thank
I
you, guys.
appreciate you guys
Appreciate
taking the
it.
time.
Thank
You guys are doing awesome out there.
Thank you. Marty check? Not that it matters.
I mean, yeah.
I only want to know so if Kyle doesn't have to, hang around longer than he wants to.
Do you think as you get older, like you're gonna pee the bed more or less?
Well, I peed the bed because I was
Drunk.
inebriated.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened to me before. I think, for sure.
There's a lot of things you choose not to remember. Jay, you ever been to a NASCAR race? I think. I peed the bed. I think.
But I can just play it off because I've been hitting the head a lot. I'm like, concussions. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, you've got a good excuse for that. Although I don't like that hit in the head situation.
So Marty's still missing in action.
Marty, yeah, but Ross and Daniel, right? It's heating up out here. When does the heat wave end in Nashville, or does this just keep going?
It just keeps going here.
What do you mean? Well, Kyle's
Is Kyle here?
Is Kyle here?
Kyle Larson here.
Sumner, is Kyle here? Kyle, do your job. Or Sumner, do your job.
Someone do your job. Is Kyle here? He's playing cornhole.
Where's Kyle? Yeah, because we're waiting on Marty, so we were waiting.
I heard he didn't like you, so he was waiting for Marty.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. It's why everyone that liked me was slotted 4 to 5.
It's fair.
That's called producing.
I'm just a puppet.
I just saw the. Will you watch hockey?
I don't watch hockey. You're a big
Does
hockey.
anyone like hockey in here? Predators fans? Okay.
Any Predators fans
yeah,
here?
Not ideal. I was so upset that the Avs won last night.
Why?
I wanted a series because I like dynasties, and Tampa Bay has won back-to-back. And I was pissed when they were down 0-2. They had the whole ice controversy. They pick up a decisive win in Game 3.
The
last night,
the Avs are too fast. They score too many goals. They're nasty.
Do you remember when John Elway said Patrick Roy, and it was Patrick Waugh? That's tough. It was tough.
I mean,
did you go? How many Avs games did you go to when you lived in Denver?
0.
Oh, but you're talking about how great the Avs are, but you show no.
Right now.
Yeah,
Right
but they also won 2 Stanley Cups. I mean, not when you were there, but there's they had a history
They were
of being
good. When I was there, I think. We were there at the same time. What are you talking about?
I know, but I didn't. I boycotted going to Avs games
Why?
because Kroenke owned the Avalanche network, which wouldn't because he had the rights, obviously, to the Avs and the Nuggets.
And they wouldn't put you on air?
No, they would. No, but I worked for the rival network. Jay, thank you for following my illustrious career. Sumner's eating pizza, Kyle gave up on us, and Marty is nowhere to be found, which is fine.
Are there any moms here that do the car line?
What's that? What's that? What is that?
Car pickup line for kids.
Oh, yeah, Jay, if anyone doesn't follow Jay on Instagram,
Yeah.
he's really big into the car lines. Can you walk me through? Oh, because the audience is...
There's no one here.
I know, but you have an audience that's listening. So, as someone, I've never been a mother.
Yeah.
I have been a nanny, but I obviously was not to be trusted driving the kids around.
Who did you nanny for?
By the way, this is back in the day. I was 11 years old. My neighbor had a 9-month-old daughter, Erica.
You can't be a nanny at 11 years old.
I'm sorry,
Jay,
it's my life.
That's a babysitter.
Okay, I was a babysitter, but I did. What do you call someone for 7 years? From the time I was 11 to 18, when I graduated high school, I would travel with this family. They had Erica, Jesse, and Tara, 3 kids. By the time I graduated, I'd go to Hawaii, I'd go to Mexico, I'd do all these things.
I've never heard this story from you.
And the dad, this was kind of creepy, but I was like, we'll just chalk it up to I was a great nanny, Rebecca DeMornay, that I got a text from the dad, this was like 2 years ago, that Erica, the 9-month-old I used to watch, got married. Fuck, because she's 28 now. She's 28.
Kids grow up fast.
Okay, let's get back to you in the car line. What's the whole, you talk about, prime position, pole position.
Pole position, like we're NASCAR, like pole position.
That's what I'm saying.
You want to be in the top 5.
So what's your strategy?
There's no strategy because there's no rules.
So when you sit there...
It's the wild, wild west. These moms and dads show up at, 2 hours before. Legitimately 2 hours before.
Just so they could be the first person in line to pick up their kid?
Yeah.
Does it really take that long to pick up your kid? What are we waiting for? It's like this is what I don't understand. When there's a line for girls in the bathroom, what are we doing in there? What's taking so long? Let's keep it moving here. I can get in, I'm a pit crew.
Here's the problem.
I'm a pit crew.
You're a big girl. Not in that sense, but you're an adult.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, you're obviously wearing a bodysuit. So you gotta take off this. You've gotta unbuckle some things.
I can do the snaps in 2 snaps.
You probably have some more shit going on. You've gotta, there's a whole process here.
I love that you're defending the woman taking a long time in the bathroom. I'm advocating for quicker turnaround. I know that bodysuit. Have I had to just move it over to the side and not deal with the snaps?
So
of course I have.
See, there's that.
Well, because I'm cognizant.
Maybe you should say that to all the girls. Just move it to the side.
I'm gonna tell you guys, no, I'm audibling on the line of scrimmage. If there's a long line, I'm gonna do a side move over. If there's not a long line, we're gonna do a snap or 2.
I've also moved the bodysuit over to the side too.
It's great anticipation by me. This is why I'm a quarterback. I'm doing things with the anticipation and consideration of other people. I would rather be uncomfortable, unlike Jay. I would rather be uncomfortable with the side move over and let other people get in faster. I'm not in there doing all the makeup and what are we doing? Oh God, we're taking pictures and there's no Wi-Fi, so we can't upload the picture. We're trying to save the Insta story. Bitch, get out. This is a bathroom. Have you ever been to the Masters?
No.
The turn here, left turn in this case.
I've played there.
Oh my God, that is a fucking mic drop. This bitch just goes, I haven't been, but I played at Augusta. What a dick. Thank you for being here. You're fired, but thank you for being here too. I'm telling you right now, the Masters is the most efficient sporting event of all time. Why?
Efficient?
Efficient sporting event of all time. They have signs up that says the wait's 5 minutes. They have women knocking on the doors of the bathroom stalls. Are you done? Let's go. Let's keep it moving. Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
I could be one of those women.
That knocks on the doors?
Oh yeah.
Come and knock on my door.
I'll
be waiting for you. That sounds very creepy, taken out of context.
Hurry up.
Oh
Please,
yeah,
let's
you
go.
would be that guy.
Get out.
Well, you're the guy in the line.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't know how much more we can talk.
What are you? I could talk to you for hours. That's an indictment on me that you said you don't know how long you could talk to me. I've been friends with you for a decade, and you go, I don't know how much longer I can talk.
Decade?
I have a black shirt on. I'm sweating.
Decade?
Longer than that. I get it.
Yeah, you just insulted me.
Okay. Well,
I don't even think anyone's listening to us anymore.
I'm listening to us.
True.
I have sweat dripping down the small of my back, but I'm committed, Jay.
I'm wearing black too. Do you have any idea what you're drinking?
No, but I like it.
Yeah.
Lauren, what are we drinking?
I have no idea.
Just cranberry and vodka? There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Marty Smith! Marty Smith! Marty Smith is wearing a diaper. Marty Smith is wearing a diaper because he is not going to take a bathroom break, you angel. Oh my God. Fun fact, Marty and I never got to work together at ESPN because I was at the kids' table. Marty and I never... Well, you get both the microphones.
Hello,
what the
is
hell
this on?
that you
Hi,
went
y'all.
through.
If this is on, hi.
Real quickly, then, Marty, it's all yours. The floor is yours. Marty and I never got to work together at ESPN because I was at the kids' table known as Sports Nation.
Oh, come on.
You had the real job, but this was hell getting here. We are so glad you were here. We fucked up all the other questions before you got here, and everyone couldn't wait for you to get
Well,
here.
thank you guys for, first of all, doing your show that you're supposed to do and then doing half of mine.
Oh, yeah, the bad news is, we took all your guests, so you just have to talk about
That's
yourself,
all right,
so
man.
good luck.
You know me, I'm able to bloviate. That's a really big word.
I just heard blow.
Thank all you guys for being here. It's amazing to see you guys. I have had a travel day that you could not imagine. I was supposed, whatever you bring me.
All right, Marty, we're going to leave it to you. I think Kyle's
go do your
probably
thing.
somewhere.
Go do your thing. Thank you guys. You're amazing.
Pleasure.
Have fun.
Bye, honey.
Hey, can give it up for Charissa.
Yes.
For being here.
Thank you. I'll be
Taking
in the
the time.
bathroom. I'll be in the bathroom making sure you ladies move it along, okay?
I'll be knocking on the door getting her out.
Bye, honey.
Have an awesome day, guys. Thank you. Really grateful for those guys filling in. My name's Marty Smith. I made it. Hi, bud. So I'll start by, hello, y'all. This is Wes, my amazing co-host. He has on an amazing, it's a great shirt, dude. Did you buy it off eBay?
Thank you. I got this in, that's perfect.
Where'd you get that shirt?
I got this at a Goodwill in high school.
You got it at Goodwill?
Yeah.
The greatest Goodwill find ever. What's up, fellas? Come on up here.
Do we have seats for
I'll
these
scoot
guys?
over.
Can we scoot down?
Where is Justin? Is he here or did he leave? Y'all say hello to Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez.
Hey, man, glad you can make it, Marty. Glad you can make it.
Congrats.
I will take one of those. Thank you.
An angel.
These guys drive for Trackhouse Racing. Ross drives the number 1 car. Daniel drives the number 99 car. They are both winners during the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season. In fact, Daniel just got his first career win. We may as well start right there, my man. Congratulations. How has this week been for you?
It's been it's been a lot of fun. I felt that it could have been. I went down. it could have been. It was just very special, and I feel like I already had extra time to celebrate and enjoy this moment with other people that has been with me on this journey. As you know, we don't have a lot of weeks off, and we just had one last weekend. So I had the time to go to my hometown, to Mexico, with my friends and family, and have a good time down
Did they
there.
have a big parade for you? How'd that go?
Actually, my mom and my sister, they did hey, Pete, They did a surprise party for me. So
Awesome.
it was a good time.
And you two have had such an amazing breakthrough year. It's great to see you, brother.
Yeah, man, you too.
Ross is one of the all-time good guys. I'm really proud of you.
Isn't it wild since we hung out last year down at the farm? Like,
so those of
we
y'all
came
who
a little
don't
way
know, this
since then.
guy's story, both of their stories are amazing. It's very difficult to make it to the Cup Series level, obviously. There's only 40 of them in the world that get to do it every year. And, of course, Daniel came from Mexico and made his way to the Cup Series. And Ross came from a watermelon farm in Nowhere, Florida to make his way to the Cup Series. How would you define how this...
No.
Look at that. That's a good one. How would you define what this year has been for you, man? Because it's fight, scrap, claw, work.
Yeah.
Have doubt. Have people believe. That give you opportunity. And now you're a multiple-time winner in the Cup Series this season and fearless in doing so. What's up, big time?
Yeah, honestly, Marty, it's easier. Not easier, it's just simpler this year. Our cars are fast. We have people that believe in us. We've got this guy that's coming up now that believed in us both when other people didn't, right? And our careers have went different ways, but I was talking to somebody this morning, and they were asking me how everything's going and checking in, and I said, man, it's actually more about, for me, like, not creating unnecessary work. Like, let's just do the work we need to do. And for me right now in my life, it's just race cars. It's that one car in the 99, but 99 in second. And how do I make that the best it can be right now? Now, later in life, there'll be time for other things, but right now, it's that one car. So I'm not helping the watermelon farm a lot these days. I'm not doing a lot of things outside of the four walls of Trackhouse, and I wouldn't have it any other way right now. That will have to change in life eventually, but right now, it's easier now to go through the mid part of this season than it was driving the red 4-car 8 years ago. I mean, honestly, because then it was about, do we have sticker tires? Do we have a rental motor or an SB2? Like, how are we going to get through this race? And now I know that my only job is to drive the car, and I'm going to have your casual top 10 Cup car every week.
You went from Dale Jr. being your landlord to him recently saying that you're one of the greatest things about the sport right now. Could you have ever predicted that step in the direction of your relationship?
No, never predicted. When I moved out there, that was just a random chance encounter that another guy needed a roommate, I needed a roommate, and Ron Hornaday wanted me off his guest bedroom, and he put us out there and got to know Dale, and yeah, he's been incredible. You know, I thought I couldn't approach him at first, and once I got to know him, it's just incredible. The guy has done so much. He's larger than life to me, and yet he'll just call me. Like, he calls me more than I call him. It's wild, and texts me.
Is this a Bud dial?
And now, they're getting ready to take over their coverage on NBC. So he's been on me about how's it going. He wants to know, is what he's watching on TV really what's happening, or is it a little different? Is it coming across different on TV? And pretty much is what it is, right? Our TV partners, they tell the story, and sometimes I wish I could hide under a rock after St. Louis, but they're going to tell the story, and that's what's great about our sport.
He said something I completely agree with, and before we move any further, y'all may know, you might have already been up here with Jay and Charissa. I don't know. I've been planes, trains, automobiles. You gain it. Wait till I tell you my travel story. I left my house this morning at 7:40. I just walked in this damn door. So
Eastern time?
Justin Marks is the owner of Trackhouse Racing. You guys may already know that. You may have already had a wonderful conversation with him. He's been a friend of mine for 15 years. He's one of the most wonderful people with one of the most beautiful spirits I know. And you talk about dogged determination, fearlessness to chase dreams and to secure dreams. He's the embodiment of that, someone I've admired for a very long time. I'll get to you in just a minute. I want to follow up on something you just said. I love that Dale Jr. had your back after St. Louis. I love that Dale Jr. said, damn it, we need guys in this sport who are willing to be physical, who are willing to do whatever it takes to win. And one thing I laugh about, man, his old man is the most famous legend in the history of NASCAR racing because he was willing to dump people to win. He would have dumped Mama Earnhardt, he would have dumped his brothers. It don't matter because they're so hard to get. So how has this aftermath been for you of, all right, I'm here, and now we have to kind of learn the code, right?
Yep.
Now there's the whole, the code part of it that Denny Hamlin likes to talk about.
Yeah, well, Dale did. He went to bat for me. Only second in line to this guy who had my back all the way through. And that does mean a lot. And we had a lot of good, honest conversations since then. Yeah, I need to find my way a little bit there. You know, if that's coming to the white, I think it's a totally different story.
Correct.
And that's coming for the win. It was lap 55 out of 300. Like, not the place to do that. I didn't do it on accident, though. Like, Denny knew what was happening, and I did too. So I just need to pick and choose those battles a little more and try to, you know, I'm going to need to pay it forward a bit, but I'm not going to, I apologized a lot after the race, and I poured it on a little too much there. I was truly sorry for the way I did it and when I did it, but I wasn't sorry for moving him. And Denny and I had really good conversation. I had a really good conversation with Chase. And Justin was honest with me with his thoughts and how he's raced in the Cup Series, and I've talked to Daniel about it. How do you know, I've just asked for help, and I've got a great support team now, and I'm not going to change. I'm not going to always apologize as much as I did after St. Louis. I was trying to get across some things, and I just went too far, but it's not going to change a whole lot on the track other than just picking and choosing those times.
Daniel, you tweeted after your win to never give up on your dreams. I feel like this team is different than a lot of other NASCAR teams. You guys are about the community. You're about your brand. You're about the next level of NASCAR. How has this team helped you reach your dreams?
Listen, a lot of teams have the idea of community, of family, of people. And very few teams actually do it. And there is a big difference between saying it and actually applying it. And, you know, I've been part of a lot of organizations in the past, and I have never felt what I feel for Trackhouse right now, you know, and it just feels special. Just the way that Justin, Ty, Pitbull, everyone cares about people so much, how important it is for them, for the people in this organization to be happy doing what they're doing. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's a driver, truck driver, the guy that cleans the shop. Everyone has a spot, and it's very, very important for every single person to do their job, for us to be able to perform on Sunday. So, you know, it's quite a journey. I would say that the win that happened in Sonoma is part of the dream. It's not a complete dream. I still have bigger dreams. I always say that the top of a mountain is always the bottom of the next one. So right now already we have some new goals. We have some new challenges ahead of us. But I'm so excited to face all these challenges with a team like the one I have right now.
We're in Music City, and I have so many friends who are artists, and they always say it's really easy to write your first record. It's hard as hell to write your second one. How do you follow up something you've spent your entire life wanting to do? You've poured your whole life into this first album. That was successful. Now what? All right? You've written a hell of a great first album, and you continue to expand. You've just done this thing, the 91 initiative, where you're going to have, you know, drivers from other disciplines driving one of your race cars each year. Continue to expand. So you're the dog that caught the car. What comes with success in terms of keeping the main thing, but continuing to want to push and grow? Yes, you. You're the boss, Hoss.
Yeah, okay. That's sort of the topic of the day, honestly, right now. That analogy, that dog that caught the car, I'm not going to tell that story right now, but that resonates because that's something that happened to me right during the Ganassi thing, which was tough. Humility, and you know, continuing to to understand what it is that got us here, and that's the fact that we're invested in each other. We're building a special culture. Success is never an accident when it's intentional, and it's the like I said, the topic of the day is the fact that this was always gonna happen. This was always gonna happen for Trackhouse. That guy's been driving around all day. That's a rental. Success was always going to happen for Trackhouse. It just happened so quickly that the topic of the day truly is how to manage these moments where we understand what got us here. What got us here is fundamental commitment to each other, to our culture, to the fact that we've got very, very talented people that are hungry and ready to be disruptive and ready to do something in our sport that hasn't been done and write a story and invest in each other and lift each other up. And the mood in that race shop is awesome. Everybody's smiling. Everybody feels like they're a part of something that's changing the narrative, part of something special. And if we just continue to do that this week in Nashville, next week in Wisconsin, the week after that, we all about Atlanta, and on and on and on, that's how we make sure that this is not a moment that we're having, but Trackhouse's arrival.
How did you take a dream and make it reality?
Risk. How did you take the dream and make it a reality? I quit racing. I made a decision that I just wasn't going to drive race cars anymore when it was my most favorite thing in the whole world to do. Because I knew that if I was going to be successful at the top levels of the sport and I was going to achieve the dream that I had when I was 8 years old, I was going to have to quit doing the thing that I loved the most and invest in the thing that I was the best at. So I had to get out of the race car, and I had to close that chapter and push all my chips in on the business side and commit to it and do, for the first time in my life, do something I was willing to die trying doing.
Which one of you three has the best Pitbull story?
The best Pitbull story?
Yeah.
Do you have a good Pitbull story? Well, you just met him 48 hours ago.
Yeah, I just met him for the first time, but no. No. Somebody else got to have a better one.
I'll tell you, when we first met Armando, Daniel and I and Ty and a couple people flew down to South Florida to meet him for the first time because it was set up. Hey, this guy is really into NASCAR. He wants to do something more. The history of the sport resonates with him, and he needs to meet you guys. So we all flew down there, and we talked to Post Malone, we talked to Justin Timberlake, we talked to a bunch of different people, and everything was fairly transactional. It was looking for something that was really authentic. So we went to a seafood restaurant in South Beach, and we got a private room in the back, and we showed up there at noon. We were there for like 4 hours. Like 20 minutes into that 4 hours, it was like, this is happening. This is the guy. Armando Christian Perez, Pitbull, Mr. 305, sat at that table and told us about Dale Earnhardt. He told us about how much he admired the American Rebel spirit and the Flathead Forge run and shine through Appalachia. He told us about the Michael Waltrip documentary that he watched, about how he knew all of Ty Norris's history, and it blew my mind. I mean, it was a moment where I'm like, this guy's a legit. He knows about NASCAR. He's a legit NASCAR fan, and that was really eye-opening to me. And it's proved out time and time again since that meeting that he's authentically a partner of ours. He loves this sport. He believes in what we're doing. He's an awesome partner.
Well, it's amazing what you guys are doing. I'm so proud of all three of you. I'm thrilled for your success. Keep it going, and thank you for spending some time with us here.
Thanks, fellas.
And for waiting on me to show up.
One more question. Is it hotter in Nashville today, or was it hotter at the farm when we were hanging out down there?
I would go with the farm.
Okay.
That was quite an experience because the humidity was 600,000%. And you and I were walking through a watermelon.
Really quick, we got a couple watermelons in our garden. How do I know when to pick the best watermelon?
Ooh.
What does it look like? Describe it.
Yeah, watermelons in the garden are tough. We actually can't even do it when it's outside of the field. They just, first of all, you're probably overwatering them. If you're watering them the same time you're doing everything else, it's too much water. So don't water the watermelon plant every time. Man, it should be heavy, so they're 92% water. I wish I had one right now. It'd taste pretty good. Heavy, yellow on the bottom. That means it sat there long enough and you're not out there rolling it around, messing with it, and let it grow. and the stripes should be symmetrical. So
Yellow bottom. Got it. Thank
Yellow.
you. Thanks, fellas.
Appreciate it, fellas.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have fun this weekend. Trackhouse Racing, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great to meet you. Yeah. I like that shirt, man. Thank you, Mike. It's awesome.
Great to see you, brother. Appreciate it. Congratulations.
What's up? I don't know. Is it just
You can sit there. We had like a huge guest list.
Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, man, thanks for showing up.
Okay. Cheers, brother. Kyle Larson is the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion and the winner of the Nashville Superspeedway event, Ally 400. 1 year ago, dominated the race. I think he led 263 laps or something crazy. I know that the guitar's not on the wall yet. What the hell's wrong with you, dude? We got to do a better job with our trophy.
Yeah. Well, I have a small room in my shop with all the trophies, and we won a lot of them last year, so it's kind of full, and it's hard to get back to where the guitar is, honestly. But I'm not a handyman. I'd like to build these. So it's like I have it all set up in the corner of the wall, and I imagine the guitar being like elevated, but I'm not a handyman to build any brackets.
Me either.
It's kind of just sitting behind the trophy right now, and I'll pull it out every now and then to show some people. But someday I'll have a really cool trophy case like all the greats have, hopefully.
You worried about winning them right now, boss,
That's right.
not displaying
Yeah.
them.
Can you play? Do you have any
No.
interest in taking lessons now that you got a guitar
I mean,
trophy?
I don't have any interest in playing now that I'm married and have kids, so I feel like
kids and marriage will really hamper new hobbies, won't they?
I feel like if my son took on guitar lessons, that'd be good, for him to pick up on some chicks as he gets older and stuff like that. But no, I don't. I cannot play the guitar, the drums. I really can't do much besides drive a race car.
You recently did something I've had the blessing of doing, and I was so moved. You went to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Yeah.
What did you take away from that experience?
I think it just gives you even more respect for everything that's been sacrificed before you. Getting to go there and see all the land and all the headstones, and then go to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and see how structured it is, and how in sync everybody is, and how young they are when they're representing it. So that was neat. I guess I'd done that with my aunt and uncle when I was
you done it before.
6 or 7, but I don't remember it. So it definitely hit a little harder, or a lot harder, going this time with Jeff Gordon, and that's just really cool. To the Coca-Cola 600, they do a lot to honor veterans, and it's a really neat tradition that they're starting now with the winners. So I guess Denny won the 600 this year, and he'll get to experience that next year. So really cool tradition.
Yeah, what's it like hanging out with Jeff Gordon at a national monument? There's not too many people that get to do that.
Yeah. No, he's obviously experienced it before, but like I said, I look up to Jeff, and I've always looked up to Jeff. So now getting to do these cool experiences with him, and getting to make memories and have pictures of me with him doing these cool things is really neat. So I hope to be with Hendrick Motorsports for a long time and get to have a lot more experiences with Jeff. But yeah, it's great. He wears a lot of different hats. I've gotten to experience Jeff, which I'm sure you have too.
Oh yeah, I got a bunch.
You get the serious Jeff, the fun Jeff, and they're all great.
What about DJ Jeff? You ever seen
Jeff,
DJ
for
Jeff?
sure.
DJ Jeff can go, dude.
DJ Jeff, yeah, DJ 24/7.
Wiki Jeff.
Yeah, we when we won the championship at Phoenix, we all went out, and it's blurry. I mean, which it should be, but we were out, around the W, and we stayed at the W. Went to his suite there, and he had his huge speakers set up, and we were raging past 4 a.m. So it was fun.
Have you ever talked to Jeff about his breakdancing days?
I
Dude,
think
he
a
was
little
like
bit.
breaking.
Yeah, I remember watching. I think you used to host that, right?
How many
Parachute
days was he?
pants?
Yeah, I remember being. I mean, younger. I wasn't a kid, I guess, but I guess maybe I was. But yes, I remember watching that show, and I would have never thought that he was a DJ, could break dance. Now that I've hung out with Jeff too, and I got to go, he was a grand marshal at the BC 39 race in Indy last year, and we went out to dinner afterwards with him and a lot of his high school buddies. And so they're busting on him all night and telling all these old stories. I was like, man, like, I always thought Jeff was this clean-cut kid who never got in trouble, never did anything wrong, and it was total opposite. He was definitely the Hellraiser.
He's a
kid.
Hellraiser, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when you come into Cup with that stash and that mullet, unfortunately, he got corporate Jeff right after that.
That's sending a message right there, showing up like that.
One of the great mustaches of all time.
Yeah.
So you dominated last year, bro. What is the difference this year? There is so much parody.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's about the sport as a whole. It is wide open right now. What is going on?
It is. It's I don't know. The cars, are pretty much the same, so it's hard for a team to like find an edge. And two, there's just like the pit stops and stuff. There's a lot more mistakes, I think, with the single lug nut. So it's just nobody's really consistent this year. I mean, you have guys that are a little bit more consistent than other guys, but for the most part, it's hard for anybody to find like a smooth, month. So it's been tough, but I feel like, and I'm sure a lot of drivers feel the same way, but I feel like we're really close to being where we were last year and winning a bunch of stages, winning races and stuff. But we just got to keep working hard, and we'll get there.
So we're looking at the back half of the season now. What is the key, even with all those changes? It's crunch time right now. You have this home stretch. What's the most important thing to do right on the back end of the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know, but somehow, and we're all trying to find it, but it's that consistency. If we could just find some consistency and put together a couple months of good runs, I mean, we're right there in the point lead. We're probably winning a couple races. We've had shots to win. And honestly, the last two shots I've had to win were from crazy races the first half. So me hitting the wall or spinning out, doing stupid stuff. So if we could just find some consistency and not make mistakes, I think that's the most important thing.
So it's an interesting moment in the sport. There's a lot of new. There's a lot of effort by the brass in Daytona and Charlotte to try new things.
Yep.
To try to evolve. How do you define the health of the sport right now?
I think it's in a good spot. I mean, you obviously always, and it's always improving, I feel like, and NASCAR's always thinking outside the box and trying to spice up the schedule, obviously spice up the race cars, and I think that's all good. So I think it's in a good spot. I think all the drivers are young and fiery, and it's not as corporate, I would say, as it once was.
Amen.
So I think that's a really good thing for the sport, and you got team owners like Justin Marks and Trackhouse coming in and shaking things up, and it's all exciting stuff.
I mean,
if you were commissioner for a day, president for a day, what would you love to see this sport do that doesn't currently exist? Maybe a racetrack, maybe a format.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a hard question, I know.
It is a hard question because I think you can answer that so many different ways and probably have a few different answers within one answer. But I think the simplest thing for me is I think there's the marquee events that should be long. The Daytona 500, Coke 600, Southern 500. But I feel like the rest of them need to be at least an hour to an hour and a half shorter. I just feel like it's hard. It's hard for any of us to sit down and really watch a 4-hour race, a 4-hour event of any sort. So if we could just make it shorter, I think that would, and who knows? Who knows? It could go the opposite way with fan interaction and stuff, but I think that would be a good place to be.
Daytona, Talladega, Darlington, Charlotte, and one Bristol.
Yeah.
One Bristol should be 500 laps.
Yep.
Every other race should be 300 miles.
Either.
That's all.
Yeah, I agree.
We're a unified front on that.
I think the Xfinity Series length of races are perfect.
Correct.
You've got you can make one mistake and have enough time to get back to the front. Where Cup, you can make 3 or 4 mistakes in the first half and still you're not out of it. So, I think it needs to be shorter. Schedule could be a little shorter too, and just go to each track once.
I was listening to an interview with Dan Elliott, and he was talking about how good you guys have it, because he was like, I was on the road 50 weeks out of the year, and you guys have a break. Like, how much does this season still take a toll on you?
Well, a normal cup guy might have a break, but I don't. I still race a lot of dirt track stuff. So like this year, I'll probably run 110 races. So,
dude, Wes, the man's a lunatic. He's a complete and total lunatic.
Well, yeah, I mean, how much do you need to do that? Is that you needing to do it? Or?
I think it's both. Like, I do it first because I love it, and I love racing and competing and getting back to do the dirt track stuff, but I also do believe that it makes me better, so that makes me want to go do it also. But I'm not gonna lie, it's been getting tiring, I think, as now my kids have gotten older and they're wanting to go do things, play sports or get involved in other things. Like now I'm really missing out on stuff. So it's making me think about changing my lifestyle a little bit going forward. But I love it. So, and it does make me better.
What is the most useful thing you've learned from the most unlikely race, if that makes sense? You picked this up, you didn't expect to pick it up from one of those dirt track races or a different race?
Well, I think so. When I race, I guess World of Outlaws, sprint cars, or racing dirt late models, every restart's a double file restart, and the races are 30 to 40 laps. So you have to be extremely aggressive, and your decision making has to be perfect on all those opportunities you get. So I think that really helps me on the cup side to be aggressive on restarts, and I'm usually netting out to the positive on positions gained on restart, so I think that's definitely one of the many benefits from racing dirt.
I saw you might want to do Le Mans. I saw you might want to do the Indianapolis 500. I know that's down the line. What do you love to race the most and why?
I get this question a lot, and it's hard to answer it, fully honestly, but I'll start by saying I love racing everything. Everything that I race, I really enjoy. But there's something about a 950 horsepower.
My farm on it, son.
950 horsepower winged 410 sprint car that weighs 1,400 pounds. They're wild. So that's it's hard. It's hard for anything to top that.
It was also an amazing refuge for you, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. Look, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your spirit and your talent and sharing it with us and your friendship. I wanted to get into golf a little bit.
Yeah.
Who's the best golfer in Cup? Denny?
So it was Denny, but right now it's Stenhouse. Yeah.
Ricky's good, isn't he?
Ricky, we played yesterday, and he was like 2 over. He had an eagle, a few birdies.
Play here, Troubadour, or where'd y'all play?
No, we had a golf guys event in Catawba, North Carolina, like Hickory, North Carolina.
Y'all are doing it right, man.
Yeah.
I got to get in on that somehow.
Daniel Hemrick actually won the tournament yesterday. He had 3 birdies in a row.
He's good too?
No.
Was it just
it was like wild. I mean, we're the same handicap. We're like a 11-8 index, and he rattled off 4 birdies on the back nine. Went like birdie, bogey, par, birdie, birdie, birdie.
I'll tell you who blew my mind.
Bogey, par to finish.
Ryan Blaney picked up the game 18 months ago, and
He's
the dude
good.
can stripe it, man.
Yeah.
I hate guys like that.
Yeah, he played with us to the first event and opened up with a birdie, and everybody was like, kick this guy out.
Get out of here, man. Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
appreciate
guys.
you, brother. Love your spirit.
Thanks.
Come on up, brother. Hey, man. Sit right here. Great to see you, man. Good to meet you again.
Yep. Like the shirt.
Here?
I can't hear shit.
Amazing. Great to see you, dude. You look amazing, dude. You look good. You good?
You're working hard.
Marty, sit here.
Okay.
You sit there.
Okay. Which one do you want me to use?
Either one's fine, I think. Great to see you, boss. Understood. No, it's not your fault. It's all good.
That black, right? There's so many guys in there. I've been working most with Evan and Matt Buzz, those guys.
I just opened this or started this. Ty Dillon is the lineage of racing royalty. He is Paul's boy. Austin is his brother, and they are as racing a family as you can possibly get. He is a wonderful spirit. I always appreciate his time. So I just want to start with when you grow up that way, when from the moment that you're born, it's all racing all the time. Your old man, he's a trip. What are your dreams when you're 7, when you're really starting to get it? Like, wait a minute, my granddaddy's Richard Childress, and my old man's driving that Kingsford car.
Yeah.
When you're a boy, like, what are your dreams?
You know, it's kind of hard to relate on the dreams, as you know, I was in a unique situation where my dreams were possible. It was a matter of what I wanted to do to get there, right? And I'm still in the middle of chasing dreams. I want so much more than what I have. I worked hard from the time I was 13, raced a car for the first time then, and my grandfather gave us the opportunity to do it, but he also made us focus and say, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it right. And we raced 70 to 100 times a year from the time I was 13 years old to the time I guess I made it to the ARCA series, where you have a more set schedule, but things kind of slowed down a little bit. So we went dirt racing. We did all the racing that we could, and quickly learned, you know, the discipline of what it's going to take to get to the top. And I was lucky enough to have a grandfather and a dad who had been there before, had the vision and the blueprint of what it took. And then it was just a matter of maturity in my life of how serious was I going to take it and make a difference.
So what's the best piece of advice that you have gotten from Grandpa and Dad about the journey that is NASCAR racing?
I think probably most of it is not really spoken advice. I think a lot of it is things I've learned by watching them, watching my grandfather. Probably the best thing from my grandfather's is honesty. He's an honest man in everything he does. He gives somebody his word and he follows through. And I think whether you're on the track and you're promising somebody you're going to do something back on the track, or you're off the track and it's something helping somebody out, or whatever relationship it may be, is that honest where somebody can look you in the eye and say, I'm going to do it, and you do it and you follow through. That's helped me the most in my career as I've grown as a man throughout the sport. That's kept me getting opportunities, kept me pushing forward to my dreams, which is winning cup races and fighting for championships.
I know I got the family colors on right now, but when you separated, you had your own path, took your own course. What was that feeling like? Did it feel liberating? Did it feel scary? And how have you kind of grown in your own in that?
Yeah, certain things happen in life and you don't really know why, and you kind of fight and resist it in the beginning, and then you realize this is what you probably always needed, right? So I was successful in the Xfinity Series, had won my first year, was battling for championships, and obviously the conversation of, all right, when you're going to go to Cup happens. My brother was there and he was doing well. And
we ask you all every damn week.
Yeah, and there wasn't anything available at RCR, but I wanted to be there, right? There was Newman had his ride. They were very happy with the sponsor. My grandfather didn't have a third team at that point. So it was just kind of wait and see, and other teams started calling. Jermaine called actually the year before, seeing if I was interested, and I said I want to give it another shot to try to run for my grandfather, and the door never opened. I don't know why, circumstances just worked out. Sponsors, Newman was running well at the time. And I took the opportunity that was there with Jermaine Racing, and I was there for a great 4 years. I learned a lot in my rookie season with a team that was hoping to grow and hoping to continue and had a long-term vision. We had a great sponsor with Geico. And then they ended up changing their partnership, going to a full-time NASCAR partner, which ended up eventually shutting our team down. Put me in a situation where I was out of a ride again at a very bad time in the season. Typically right now is when you're working on your next deal, and I just didn't have much opportunity. So it put me in a place where it was either, if I want to do this and I want to keep trying to be the best race car driver I can be, win at the Cup Series, which I believe I can do, be a champion, I'm going to have to dig in deeper than I've ever had to in my career. The opportunity of knowing that I was going to have a ride the next year was gone for the first time in my life. I'd always knew what I was going to do.
And what was that emotion?
It was tough, There's so many days where you want to give up. You don't want to make another phone call. My wife was so good to me in that time because I was emotionally all over the place, right? But she kept making me dig. Keep calling. Don't be afraid to call. Don't be afraid to call that guy, even though you know the door's not open there, but try again. And opportunities came. I think I ran 16 races last year for 3 different teams, 2 different manufacturers, all the series that you could run, just hoping to get something to click, right? And I think it was so cool to get to race for Joe Gibbs and Toyota, something I don't think anybody would have ever thought would have happened in my career. But to get to meet Coach Joe Gibbs, JD or
I love that you still call him coach.
They were just so good to me, and I got to see things different through the way that they operate. I had always been RCR and Jermaine and the teams I had been around, but to see a different way of operation, different people, and have that respect of, they really let me feel like I wasn't just the grandkid with the opportunity, but I was a driver that deserved to be there, and it grew a confidence in me to keep digging, keep going, and then the calls came in with Maury Gallagher. At the time, it was GMS Racing. They were flirting with, are we going to go cup racing full time? What's the plan? And then the conversations grew from my experience and what I wanted to accomplish and where I was. And I think we just hit it off. Maury gave me the opportunity of a lifetime to come back, get a second chance in the Cup Series with what is now Petty GMS. And I get to drive for the King as well. So it's just wild, the journey that life takes you on. I grew up in a family where my grandfather is a Hall of Famer. Now I'm getting to drive for the king of our sport and another Hall of Famer. So I'll always be blessed for the opportunities that have come my way. They haven't been easy. They're still not easy. I'm still not where I want to be. But I'm working hard every day to get better on and off the racetrack to get to my goals.
There's beauty in the grind, brother. There is beauty in the grind.
Absolutely.
One of the cool things about NASCAR is that there's been brother duos who have raced against each other. You know, Labonte's, Burton's, we could go all the way down the list, right? What is the challenge when you are trying to beat your brother every week, when you have proprietary information, when you guys are having conversations that you may or may not want to share? How do you manage a relationship with your brother when you're also competitive?
It's difficult. We started racing, I was 13 and he was 15. And ever since that day, we've been pit against each other. Not us, but everything outside of us. Every question is, you're going to beat your brother. Have you beat your brother? Who's better? Everywhere you go. And that's tough, and it wears on you. And Austin and I are very different people for those who get to know us, right? But we both respect each other's life and the way that we approach things. We both understand we're very different. We both have kids now, and it's really fun to see him as a dad and see that evolution in his life too. And I can't wait to the day that we're both done and we can look at it and see all the cool stuff that we got to do, the places that we've been, the support we really have shown each other. It's not that he's always bearing down on me, telling me what to do or trying to give me advice all the time. He's been there more or less to say, hey man, I understand what you're going through. There was a couple weeks ago where I was having a pretty good run going in St. Louis, and we actually ended up having a mechanical problem that took us out of the race. But I was so mad after the race because I felt like that opportunity to really show people what I was doing was there, and then it kind of flew away. And he was the first one that said, hey man, keep it cool, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get there, it's gonna show. And you know, when you have your brother or a family member there to show that, it's really cool. So you know, we go through a lot together. It's tough to be at the top level of a top sport as brothers and be on different teams and then have all this individual pressure put on you. But I definitely respect everything he's done. He's been very successful in his own career, his own path, and I think he understands that I have my own path and own career too, and it's really probably been the best way that it's worked out.
Seeing the King with sunglasses on almost seems like the default. How weird was it for you the first time you saw him without sunglasses on?
The King?
Yeah.
Unique, right? You see him everywhere, even inside wearing sunglasses. But behind those sunglasses, what I've learned this year is Richard Petty is one of the kindest, softest-hearted men I've ever met.
Awesome.
It's incredible. A lot of those old legends, you think they're just tough souls that don't really have much going on, and he takes his time with you. He listens to what you say. He cares, and I've asked him so many things of like thinking that he would take the tough route answer, right? Like, you probably didn't wear this cool suit that I'm wearing when you race. He's like, actually, I was the first one to ever wear one. And I was like, wow, you didn't have to admit that. I would have believed anything you said, but that's pretty cool, you know? And I appreciate that. I've learned so much from just his demeanor as a human to other people, and I'll be grateful for that. Him and Dale Emden both, to be surrounded by that on your race team is really cool.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, appreciate it.
There is nothing like being a dad that redefines your perspective on
Absolutely.
the world, right?
We got some dads out here. With some dads?
Yeah.
Oh, I got plenty. We got plenty. Thank you. Happy Father's Day to you too.
I'm drinking PBR, man. Somebody shoved one of these in my face.
That was actually mine. That was mine, but you got it, bro.
Oh, thank you. I got a Coors Light waiting on deck. when you're young, you're still young compared to me, but when you're younger and you're chasing that dream, it's all about winning. It's all about succeeding at all costs. Then all of a sudden you become a dad.
Yep.
And you have that unbelievable perspective. How has becoming a dad and a family man impacted your perspective on chasing it?
I think your perspective shifts from right in front of your face to your future, right? You want your kids to see the man that you are, and you want them to see what you would like them to be when they grow older, right? I want my daughter to see me as the man I hope she marries one day, and I hope that he has a challenge outdoing me to the way I treat her. I want my son to see my work ethic, my honesty, and the way that I operate, so it pushes me to be better every day. So I'm thinking long term always with my kids, and it's just shifted the way that I operate as a human, and it's the greatest thing. Them and their mom is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. They've forced me to grow. All three of them has forced me to grow from an immature boy when my wife and I first got married to a dad and a man now that I am. And life is beautiful in that way, and you always are growing and learning and becoming better if you're paying attention. And yeah, my kids are the best thing, and I used to get done when I didn't have kids after a race and want to tear a motorhome up or tear something up and fight, and I would carry that with me all week. And now I go back, and my daughter's like, Dad, I don't want to be around the race cars. Can we go draw? Can we go draw or paint, or can we get the colors out, or can we go in the backyard?
All of a sudden, you don't feel quite as important.
The world is so much bigger than we make it in that moment when we make it all about ourselves.
Well, I'll tell you, brother, I love the grind. I love how hard you're willing to work, and the way you treat people is amazing. That is such a wonderful testament, not only to you, but to your parents. And I've always appreciated that so much. Your story is just starting to be written.
Thank you, Marty. I appreciate it.
I'm grateful for your spirit, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Cheers. Ty Dillon, guys.
Appreciate it.
By the way, this is the best-looking man in a cowboy hat in the Cup Series, and you can tell his brother I said that.
And I think he's got the best-looking car, too.
Hey, boss. Sit down, man. I didn't know you were here yet. Noah Gragson is here. He drives the number 9 car in Xfinity Series for Dale Jr. He's made, what, 6, 7 Cup starts? How many Cup starts you got?
Yeah, 6 or 7 now.
Oh, honestly, it's nice to meet you. I've never met him yet. This is the first time I've ever met him. I know, isn't that wild? I love the way you drive a race car. I love that you don't pander to other people's BS. I love the way that you carry yourself. And what is it like when you make your way to the top levels of NASCAR and all of a sudden you're shoving people around for your own real estate and to make your own way? What's that evolution like, just as a person?
I mean, as a kid, you always dream of making it to the top levels of your profession. And in my
You're
case,
23,
NASCAR.
bro. You're still a kid.
But to me, it feels like being on the racetrack as a kid, racing bandoleros and legend cars and late models. It doesn't feel any different when you're inside the race car. You still got that competitive factor behind you, and you want to go out there and beat all the other cars. Yes, it's on a lot bigger stage, but when you're a kid, at least in my opinion, you see these Cup guys in Xfinity truck, and they're superheroes. It's like, man, I'll never get there, And then once you get to that point, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but you work so hard that it becomes more of a reality, and you're so focused on the preparation side of it and working hard and focusing that you're just going to do your job at the end of the day. But yeah, it feels the same as racing at the local short track when I first started back in 2012. And I just like to go out there, have as much fun as possible, and try and win the race.
Yeah, I think this is the first driver we've ever had on that I've met as many times as Marty. Wes,
Sweet.
Great to meet you.
Noah, great polo.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. So we were talking to Kyle Larson about all the things that he's raced. And I'm curious, what is something you looked at? A vehicle, like a golf cart, a lawnmower.
What was that?
What's something that you've looked at? You said,
what do you want to race that you have?
I wish I could race that thing. I would beat everybody in it.
Probably a trophy truck like the Baja 1000 down in Mexico. Just go hit jumps and tear it up. I have a friend, Riley Herbst, who races in Xfinity Series. We grew up together, went to the same school, lived in the same neighborhood, jumped our mountain bikes together, rode dirt bikes in the desert together.
Las Vegas, right?
Yeah. Out in Vegas, and his family, they are very invested and have a big history in off-road racing down in Mexico and all over the country. And so I always saw that. I'm like, man, before I started racing, I was like dirt biking, mountain biking, snowboarding. I'm like, man, that's what I want to do. And then the opportunity came about to race Bandolero, which is basically a quarter-sized stock car with a lawnmower motor, basically a go-kart with a roll cage and a body and a lawnmower motor. And went out to the racetrack out in Las Vegas, a guy that my dad worked with, his kids raced, and went out there and kind of, after my first couple of laps, I had the biggest smile ear to ear, and I was hooked. It's they say it's the most expensive addiction that you could ever have, but no, it's been a lot of fun, and I always wanted to race, growing up and on off-road stuff, and hopefully one day I can do that.
How does a man react when Dale Earnhardt Jr. calls?
At first...
When he called, I want you to walk me through the whole conversation. When he calls you and says, hey, I want you to drive my race car, how's that go?
The first time I ever talked to Dale was after this. I was racing a late model race down in Pensacola, Florida. It's called Snowball Derby. And so,
you won that thing.
Back in 2018,
yeah.
we won the Snowball Derby, and we were signed up to go run over at Junior Motorsports and the following year. But this is the tail end of 2018. I was still driving for Kyle Busch in the Truck Series, and this was my last race with that group before moving on over to Junior Motorsports. And Dale texted me after the race, and you look through your text and you get a bunch of text, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., it stands out, and so I think as a kid, you always look and you're like, man, these guys are my heroes. And then for it to become a reality, like I was saying, racing in the upper series in NASCAR, it becomes a reality. But that was like a holy shit moment. Like, this guy's texting me right now. He said, a lot of guys have run this race and never won it, including my father. What you did today was something big. And that was probably the coolest moment of that weekend, but of my whole career, to be able to have a guy like Dale Earnhardt Jr., who I've looked up to my whole life, to be not only texting me, but the words he said meant a lot to me.
He's somebody who, like we were talking to Ross Chastain earlier, I like how aggressive Ross is. Now, he made a really good point. Maybe I shouldn't do it on lap 55. Maybe I should wait until lap 299 of 300 to be that aggressive. But I love that aggression. I do. When you're going through something where you're learning, you're aggressive, other drivers might be upset with you, what does Dale say to you? If you're having a conversation with him about, dude, don't tear up my damn race cars.
I think he kind of sees it, from the team owner side of, hey, we don't want to be tearing stuff up, but at the same time, I've had my fair share of let's call them learning experiences and a lot of trial and error. But yeah, I feel like I'm one of the more aggressive drivers, and as I gain more experience, I've kind of toned that down, maybe non-consciously, but just with the more experience comes that maturity behind the wheel and whatnot, and kind of a different outlook on, hey, like Ross said, I don't have to get this spot on lap 55. I can wait till the end of the race. And I think that's kind of where I've matured over the years. But I've had my fair share of talks with higher up people, Dale and his sister Kelly, who she's the real boss of the race team. But yeah, they're tough conversations. But at the end of the day, he always says, try and take this as a learning experience, but don't change and don't change the way you're doing it. Just try and learn from it and become smarter and become better in the future. And I'm just trying to learn each and every day. Whether it's on the racetrack, off the racetrack, you can learn from any situation and you can learn from anybody. And he's been a great mentor for myself.
The cars are changing. The business model is changing. The ownership is changing. I almost feel like you're coming along at a time where you don't know what you don't know. What is the wildest story you've heard from one of the older drivers, one of the older pit crew guys that just does not compute? Like, this is not the NASCAR that I know.
They actually stayed in hotels.
Yeah. No, I'm staying in a hotel. We're staying I feel like the buses are overrated. They're too expensive. It's dumb. I like to stay with the team and be with them, keep building that relationship. at the end of the day, the only thing you got is your team. And so, I mean, the wildest thing is probably the no cell phone era. You always hear those older guys where they're like, oh, back before cell phones were a thing, we used to do all this and way more. And you just can't get away with that kind of stuff these days. I'm sure you could be pretty creative on.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, use your imagination. But, I mean, they used to run hard back in the day and have a good time. I've heard some good ones.
I was actually around before cell phones in NASCAR, so I can attest to the fact that they used to run really, 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 really hard. I'm so old, I went to Club E, dude. I'm so old, I went to Club E.
What's that?
That's Junior. You don't know what Club E? We got to have
Is that at his place?
I need to take you to college, son.
I know.
That's the cut of the podcast. Go ahead.
I've known Junior since 1998. So I've been to
23 years. That's when I was born.
Your whole life. I've known Junior your whole life. If you're looking in a crystal ball, man, and that crystal ball is full of dreams, what do you want?
Man, that sounds
I've always told myself I want to race for a living. I don't care if it's racing skateboards down the street right here, or if it's racing in the Premier Series in NASCAR. I want to be competitive and do the best job possible, be as prepared as possible. And I don't want to look back in 20 years and say, hey, you know, this, I didn't give it my all. You always want to give it your all and show up prepared. But for me, it's about the joy of the competitiveness. Thank you. This is my girlfriend.
I mean, golly.
She's great. You found yourself a keeper.
How does that happen?
A bucket of beers.
God is so good that could actually just happen.
Yeah, I just met her.
What's in that? Jack Daniels?
Virgin Red Bull vodka.
Yeah, virgin, sure.
Yeah. But no, what was the question? I just want to race. I feel like my idol was Tim Richmond, and I heard him say, I feel like the purpose of me being on this earth
on your way.
is to have fun and be myself. And you know, you never know when your last race is going to be. You never know when your last day on this earth is going to be. So might as well live it up and enjoy it. And that's what I try and be. Try and be prepared and do the best job possible, but have as much damn fun as possible.
Last thing, we'll let you run. Why is Tim Richmond your hero? What was it about him that captivated you personally?
He's all these. I mean, he had fun.
I will tell you this. You talk about sheer God-given talent. If that man did not die when he died, Dale wouldn't have all those titles. Davey Allison, you know, those guys. I mean, Tim's just God-given ability and fearlessness was legendary. And he could wheel it, dude.
He's, I've watched his documentary and stuff on 30 for 30, and he's definitely a badass, you know, and somebody I looked up to. I think he's a little more edgy, and I like to show my personality. I just try and be myself, and I may have different hairstyle than other guys and do stuff a little bit differently, but you know, as long as you can get out on the racetrack and do your job at the end of the day, that's the thing that matters. And you know, for me, I like to have a lot of fun, and once I put that helmet on, all that preparation throughout the week, that's where really it's time to go have fun on the weekends and go out and race, and I'm just enjoying it and living it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you for your spirit. Really appreciate your time so much. I know how busy you guys are. Well, tell him thank you and hello. Now listen, if you guys ever recreate the 1987 Winston poster, I'm expecting you to go full.
Have to take a Viagra or something.
Thanks, bro.
Broa
Cheers.
Gragson.
Noah Gragson, my friends. That boy's got a bright future.
Dude, we've had all generations and eras and ages on today's show. That was special.
I can't believe, y'all, I've had a whirlwind of a day.
Oh, what happened, man? You showed up about 5 hours late.
No, I showed up 7 hours late, I think. I left my house this morning. Hi, how you doing? Awesome to see you. Don't worry, it'll get consumed. I promise you.
Those mountains will not turn white.
So I leave my house this morning, and I'm making my way to the Philadelphia airport, and I'm already full of trepidation because my flight, as I was making my little girl's breakfast this morning, told me that I was delayed. Oh,
Yeah,
come on. You want me to interview you?
Turn DGL's mic on.
Y'all, Deirdre Lester is the CEO of Outsider, and she is a certified badass. Oh, you already met her? I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I just got here.
This is a different show. So we got to give her the respect that she's earned.
So I'm going to the Philadelphia airport, and lo and behold, my American Airlines app tells me my flight is canceled. So all of a sudden, I am overwhelmed with anxiety, and I'm trying to make my way through this. And if you guys would have seen the cornucopia of people who were trying to assist me to get to this seat, you would not believe it. We had 10, 12 different. I was calling every famous friend I got,
Hey, where's Patrick
asking if I could use their damn airplane.
NASCAR Patrick. Everybody clap for NASCAR
Right there is
Patrick.
the man that made it happen.
Marty's not here without NASCAR Patrick.
And I got here in record time. I am so grateful to have made it.
Well, where did you go?
I will tell you when.
Can you describe your
yeah,
route?
I can walk you through the whole thing.
But at first you were very chill. Marty texted me this morning.
I was chill until I got
I mean,
like
I
a
didn't get
mile
in until
away.
3 a.m. last night. I wake up all like, yeah, here's to go, big day. And Marty's like, my flight's delayed, but it's okay. I'm gonna just go to Philadelphia. It's gonna be no problem. And I'm like, after what I saw last night, it is going to be a problem. This is all hands on deck problem time. And you were just optimistic, like, no, I'm just gonna say a prayer, go to Philly. American Airlines is gonna find a crew. And I'm like, I don't feel it.
I mean, I
do
was
not
going to
feel
like
it. Yeah.
trim up my beard and look presentable. I got on gym shorts, y'all. Like,
Marty,
I mean,
when you sat down, they had to lower the brightness on that light because you were so reflective off of your thighs.
I do have some very, very pale thighs. I have very pale everything.
So once you realized that Philadelphia was not going to be an option, talk about where you aimed to go next.
All right,
it was
so
very, very ambitious.
I'll walk you guys through this whole scenario. So I'm driving up the Garden State Parkway, and
That's in New
I
Jersey, if you don't
immediately call my operations team at ESPN. They are the greatest in the world at getting us home from things that seem impossible. They can't find anything. Travis can't find anything. Lauren can't find anything. Deirdre can't find anything. I'm driving. I'm still trying. And so I'm like, you know what? I bet. Let's try Newark. Let's try Baltimore. Let's try Baltimore, Maryland. So we find a flight in Baltimore, Maryland. So I'm like, cool. So I hook a right and start going south to Baltimore, Maryland. We find out that the flight was for tomorrow.
In the crowd suggested we go to Allentown. I was like, that's a stretch. Allentown, Pennsylvania.
So I'm making my way to Baltimore, and we realize, oh, that flight is for the 24th. That's a big problem. The event is on the 23rd. So I turn back around again. We find a flight in Newark. I am hauling ass to Newark. I am in the loud pedal really, really hard. And I'm on my way to Newark, and I get, 50 miles up the highway to Newark, and we realize that flight is canceled. I turn around. I'm on the way back home. Hey, we found a 345 for you out of Newark. It's going to go through Atlanta, and you're going to land in Nashville at 4:50?
4:50.
4:50. I'm like, shit, 4:50 will work. So I'm on the way back to Newark again. I'm 45 miles up the highway to Newark. Some bitch got canceled. So I turned right around. Meanwhile, I call Patrick. I'm like, hey, dude, I felt like this message should come from me. This is an important initiative for Outsider and an important initiative for our partnership with you guys, and I ain't going to be there. I can't make it. There's no chance. We've exhausted every opportunity we have. We've tried 49 different airports. Gas is $100 a gallon. I have driven 200 miles. And so Patrick starts working. Long story short, we locate an airplane. We don't. Patrick locates an airplane. And I get on said airplane, and I get in the airplane, and we're flying here, and I'm pumped, dude. I'm going to be there at like 4:15 in the afternoon. I'll be able to have a couple cocktails before the show, and I'll be ready to kick some ass, take some names.
Did they have any drinks on the?
There was a hamster running in that airplane. I'm not too sure what was going on there, but those poor guys, they were the nicest guys ever. They land the airplane, and I have my backpack on. I have my duffel bag over my shoulder, and I am at the door like this right here. Door's right here, and the guy's like, "Hey man, are you sick?" I'm like, "I'm late."
Parachute out.
Open the door.
Open the
So he
fucking
opens the door, and I haul ass out the door to Travis's Hyundai Excel or whatever he drives. Yeah, Elantra. Upholstered roller skate. And we make our way here. And then, I was in a great, Deirdre, I was in an amazing mood. I was full of optimism. I knew we were going to kick ass and take names. And then we got down here. Why do y'all have traffic circles in downtown Nashville? What is that?
Welcome to the new
And people
Nashville.
don't know how to use them. Go! Don't wait.
It's because it's race week, Marty. Everybody's here for race week. That's why there's traffic in Nashville.
Anyway, we made it. I'm full of gratitude to get to fellowship with you guys today. Thank you to everybody on our team
Yes.
for doing what you do. Your spirit is amazing, unparalleled, and thanks to the race car drivers and the NASCAR for telling them, hey, Marty's going to be 40 minutes late or whatever I was.
Well,
Are you happy I made it?
I am so happy you made it. I'm so happy all these people made it.
Me too.
And I hope they all come out to the race.
Please go to the race.
Races, or at the very least, tune in on NBC. And
Who you
thank
picking?
for being here.
Who's winning?
All right.
Go Dogs.
Yeah, Wes is the most Georgia Bulldog human being ever.
I'm Team
If
Chase.
y'all love the Ohio State Buckeyes, talk to Travis. He's loves Ohio State. If y'all love college football, did you see Arch Manning committed to
No,
Texas
I missed
today?
that. What happened?
Oh.
In the middle of trying to find an airplane, I had 400 text messages about Arch Manning.
You couldn't miss that news. You could be on Mars and you would know
No
where
doubt,
Arch Manning
man.
Come on,
committed to school.
on3.com, on3.com.
He sure is.
Shout
Hook 'em.
out on3.com.
Yep. Oh, yeah. On3.com is our college athletics arm. It is revolutionary, if we're being honest. So,
DogsHQ.com.
Wes is a contributing member, very valued contributing member to On3.com through Dogs HQ.
7 days for free.
Thank y'all. If you have any questions or want to hang out or drink a beer, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, Marty, you missed the meet and greet, so I bet there's some people that would love to get a photo
Whatever
op
y'all
over
need,
there.
man, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere till y'all get what you
step
want.
and repeat with you before we all head over to Whiskey Jam and rock out, because there's an amazing lineup, Whiskey Jam team. So thank you, everybody.
I don't do shots, but man, hey, you! What are you doing? What's
All
up,
right,
boss? Hey, well, you want to just come up here and just start spinning? If y'all are DJ Silver fans, that's him. Great friend of mine. It's a great American right there. Hey, man, I have to sit up here. I'm going to out you all day. Oh, I don't know where he's here somewhere. Oh, he left. He's not here somewhere.
He didn't go anywhere. All right, thanks, y'all.
He's upstairs somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. Thank you, guys. You're amazing. We appreciate your passion and the fellowship. It means the world to me that y'all hung around. I'm sorry I'm late. I had nothing to do with it.